Welcome everyone to an all-new edition of the show with the trifecta suplexes, but no flex at all. Leave all that capping at home. This is the Three Amigos podcast show. So much to talk about, so little time. Let's go! Without any further ado, let's introduce you to the three suplexes, aka our esteemed host of the Three Amigos show podcast. We're gonna kick it off with moi, as always. Maybe I should say moi to have on a beret. As always, there's no shook hands in Brooklyn. If you don't know me, you will. I am the intellectual savior to the masses, the underdog, also known as the unchosen one. Brilliant, bright, and always willing to fight. I am Brandon Thorne.
Yeah. Please believe
Second, we're going to take it into that second suplex, right? That one hits a little bit harder, right? Hailing originally from the Bush. Not Nutbush, but Flatbush, Brooklyn. He was once all in. He still might be double or nothing. Are you ready for that revolution? That's tonight. Mr. Fighting is something you do, where wrestling is something you live. From KRS-One himself, he is the Panamanian guy. He is the Michelle King.
Yes, I love that. Wow, okay. There's a lot of applause.
Oh, they like you. They like you. You must got that mash out Morse on you. You got that mash out Morse on you. Not CMOS, but mash out Morse. Last and certainly not least, hailing from the concrete jungle of Brooklyn, the Eastern Part, standing at 6'4", he is lyrical. A miracle, spiritual, a criminal, minimal, bar minimum aluminum bars, the 10-time New York State Park Wrestling Champion. He is Big Daddy Pooh's Sour Diesel.
Yeah, man.
I'm here.
As I said, we got so much to talk about with so little time. We're going to open up a new section, sort of like a VIP section. We want your fans out there to get a little bit of what's going on in the world. We about to light it up. What did Godfather used to say? Light it up for this big caddy, something. Light it up for this fat daddy, whatever. I forgot what he used to say. But let's open up the smoking section.
Yes.
Well,
Big Daddy Bull Sour Diesel.
That will be me. Come smoke with your boy in this section. You heard? So this is how it goes. So there's it's been some talks, some rumors going around that they think that Vince McMahon might be back in the creative, judging on because of the situation with Brock Lesnar and Omos, and feeling like Vince was the one that created that match, because Brock Lesnar apparently does not want to go on in WrestleMania and fight and take on Bray Wyatt. He turned that down, and he also turned down fighting against Gunther. Now, the people want to know, what's up with that?
Okay.
What's up with that, bro?
Yeah,
that's a fair question and a good assessment.
That does sound like a Vince McMahon move, to put him against Almost. And unfortunately, I'm not really entertained by that. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not gonna be entertained by that, because it's gonna be nothing but lariats and German suplexes, and we done seen that show many of times. So
it's gonna be Almost running to the buckle. Brock moves, and he does that dumb doofy shit he does. I hate it.
Here's what I want to question. What is Brock Lesnar's obsession with black wrestlers? You came in and took away Kofi Mania. You did something with Big E. Then you had a hard on Almighty Bobby Lashley. Now that switched to, I guess they all look alike. So now we're gonna go over to Omos. Why didn't you want to do the business with Bray Wyatt and or Gunther? Are these people that Brock Lesnar may be intimidated by what it is that they can do in the ring after defeating him at WrestleMania? Is the question I want to know.
I don't think that's the case. I think that maybe he's actually, anybody that goes into a match with Brock Lesnar is going to be elevated. They're going to be elevated because he is the main event. Outside of Roman Reigns, he is the underdog face of the company. So anybody that goes into there is going to be elevated. And I think that, frankly, if it's at Mania, it might be the boost that Almost needs, because Almost is almost going to be fired if he don't get it together. So this may be the boost that he needs going into Mania. And also, I think that it as much as I don't want to see this match, I think this match would benefit Almost more than a Bray Wyatt, because on the big stage, you're going to have a Bray Wyatt. He doesn't need Brock Lesnar to put him over. So if you have Almost there and you actually teach Almost wrestling moves, okay, maybe this might be the match that might make Almost go into Stardom. Because frankly, if it wasn't Brock, Almost would not be on the card. And I don't know if the rumors are true, but Triple H has also shortened the cards. Okay, yes. So Mania both nights are going to be less than it was last year. So this might be a big deal for Almost to be on the card.
Well, I'm Team Almost, so Omos is his name. Nigerian giant. I definitely like Omos. I believe in him, especially after that clinic he put on defeating Braun Strowman at Crown Jewel, I do believe. And it was a wrestling clinic. I mean, he was dominating he's the only guy that can make Braun Strowman look like a regular guy. Like, come on now. Impressive. I'm happy that Omos is on the card. I love the way you chose
the word clinic.
Yes, the wrestling clinic that it was. It was very good. He carried the match, but I'm happy that Omos is making. He's going to be on the card for WrestleMania, and I'm also excited to see what it is that they're going to do and where he will elevate from this, if based on your hypothesis match out. Sour Diesel. Oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
No, I was just responding to your statement. I just think that a match like this magnitude, it can only help Almost. That's it. It only could help him. I mean, certainly he can't do any worse. So, it wouldn't behoove him not to be in a match of this nature, because he needs somebody to take him over the top and legitimize who he is as a professional wrestler. I'm sorry, Sour Diesel.
I'm not sold on him yet. I think he needs to do a little bit more for me. He needs a little bit more ring work. He needs to work on the control of how he moves in the ring, not look so doofy when he's doing certain things, like when he's missing his opponents in the turnbuckle. I feel like he needs to give it a little bit more, some more expression when he does it. And I'm just not sold on him. I'm not.
I think he does like expression too much, but he doesn't finesse, if that makes any kind of sense. To me, it seems like that. Yeah, like he doesn't do it with a certain area. Like, if we're going to look at big guys, and I don't want to sidetrack, we're going to look at big guys, right? The most impressive two big guys that we have ever known is Kane and The Undertaker. And although they use force and they use power, and they also use speed, right? And it's a bit of agility that we see with more The Undertaker, and then Kane started adding it into his repertoire. Omos needs a sense of finesse. I don't think he's going to learn that in a match with somebody who's like Brock Lesnar, but I do think I want to see once again where it will elevate him. What this does for Omos.
But this Kane and Undertaker were big men. Omos, he's a giant. So this is different. So it's like he can't move like the Undertaker and Kane. I get it. I understand. Like, he ain't going on no top ropes, hitting people with a flying clothesline. He ain't doing the Undertaker when Undertaker dive over ropes and damn near breaking his neck now. He can't do that. But he can be the next best, like what the Great Khali should have been. He's going to be. Or like what was the other guy? Craig
Gonzalez?
Giant
Gonzalez. Thank you. He could be that big man that come through the door and actually do something for the big, like even maybe like the Giant. Paul White. You know what I mean? He has to really be dominant in that damn ring. I want to see some dominance from him, and I want to
But
see.
look how many years. Look how many years it took Paul White to get there. Paul White was not. He was rather green in WCW. Even coming over to WWE, he was still green, right? And they stopped telling him, stop screaming, stop raw, and making yourself look like a monster, so to speak, right? So he had to take some time. So maybe this is Omos's journey to be not sort of the next big show, but the first Omos.
Okay, so maybe and plus, okay, I feel like we ain't seen Russell in weeks. All right, so him coming to being on the grand stage of the mall, WrestleMania, I think maybe this is where we'll see see him be impressive, if that makes any sense. Like, when WrestleMania get here, all eyes are on you.
Let's not get crazy.
I mean, when you at WrestleMania, all eyes are on you, and these talents, these superstars, they're going to do their best to not look stupid. They'll look stupid on any other show, but not at WrestleMania. I've never seen like a botch WrestleMania from.
You have.
I can't remember.
You definitely have.
Well, okay. Well, moving on.
Right.
Moving on. There's talks. I don't know if you guys seen it this past Wednesday on AEW, where Eddie Kingston, the janitor, the super of the building, the man with all the keys and Budweisers. He is reportedly.
I think he drinks Crazy Horse. I think he drinks Crazy Horse.
And
don't disrespect the man like that.
And he gets a couple of nips from the grocery store. He gets a couple of Fireball nips. Hey, let me throw that in there with me.
If you think Fireball, that nigga is getting Alexi vodka or Georgie, and he's mixing it with the Crazy Horse. Go ahead, proceed. Yes, he is.
Listen,
go ahead.
Is that because he's from Yonkers? That's why y'all saying this?
Oh, he's from Yonkers. I thought he's from Bushwick. But but yeah, it's reported that Eddie Kingston has quit AEW behind the scenes backstage. So the people want to know what's up with that. Is it a work? Is it like?
So just a little update. He actually did quit AEW. I'm googling as we're speaking. Mm-hmm. So on Pro Wrestling News, he did officially quit AEW. However, he didn't quit. He didn't quit working for Tony Khan. He just moved over to ROH.
Oh my gosh! You're still in AEW.
What the hell sense does that make at all? First of all, right? That's like quitting Old Navy and saying, I'm quitting Banana Republic to go work for Old Navy. I'm quitting the Gap and going to work for Banana Republic. Like, what? Maybe because of the history and the lineage of Ring of Honor and it being more indie, and we do know that this is where Eddie Kingston thrives at, is in more indie style, with Ring of Honor now getting their own fitting, so to speak, with Tony Khan, which is why he's displaying them so much on AEW's programming. Maybe this is a place where Eddie Kingston can ride off into the sunset with his Crazy Horses and his nips of Alexi vodka.
Well, I mean, at this point, to be, ROH needs it. They need it. They do. They truly need. They need something, and Eddie might be what they need, because right now, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Christian Cage the champion?
No,
Claudio is the Ring of Honor champion.
Wait, Christian Cage.
Wait, no, not Christian. Not Christian Cage. Claudio. Sorry.
Yeah.
Claudio Castagnoli is the Ring of Honor champion. Ring of Honor actually has good champions. The people who are the champions, besides for me, the women's champion, in Ring of Honor, they are decent champions, and they have viable contenders for those titles if they float them between Ring of Honor and AEW. I believe the booking right, Booker of the Year. Booker K, not Booker T. But go ahead.
Booker Khan.
Yeah.
Yeah, D.
Well, I don't know what to say about this. Well, I feel like if that's dumb. Like, if you wanna, why would you quit? Why would you quit the Gap to go work for Old Navy? It's the same company. It's it's mind-boggling to me. I just don't get it. And he's always he's always just like that uncle that just always have a problem constantly. He always got something to complain about. I don't know. I don't get this guy. I was never for Eddie Kingston. Well, I was for him when I remember that time when he came out with the DMX shirt. He had the good struts on. He had those butters on. You know what I mean? That's the only time me and him connected on some type of on the same page. But I don't know. I'm not an Eddie Kingston guy. Him going to Ring of Honor doesn't mean much to me. And I don't think if I could answer honestly, right, and professionally, I
Mhm.
think it will work for the people in Ring of Honor because he could bring his knowledge there, and it'll work for the new guys and what have you. But I don't think it will work for Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston, it will work for ROH for him to go over there, but I don't think it will work for him in his favor. You know,
Okay, so where do you ultimately see Eddie Kingston going? Like, where do you think he belongs?
The liquor
I
store.
I think he belongs.
Not nice, random thoughts.
I honestly think and I honestly believe where he belongs is on the third floor stairway
Oh
mopping
God!
floors.
All right,
Okay, he needs
okay.
to be doing that.
Let's. Okay, now this is getting ridiculous.
Moss can't put on a wrestling clinic, but Eddie Kingston doesn't belong in the liquor store on the third floor. A
You
building
know,
too.
You're comparing Eddie Kingston to
Oh yeah.
almost.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
I
No,
don't know.
They both do lariats. What's
that
the
doesn't even make
difference?
sense.
I'm about
They
to go.
both
I'm
do
about to go
lariats.
knock on this. I'm about to go knock on this door and tell him I got locked out of my apartment. Do he has a spare key?
No, you know.
Is he the super? What else you got in the smoking section?
Okay. In the smoking section, oh yeah, it was reported that Kofi Kingston he have injured himself on Friday Night SmackDown.
Thanks to Drew
From that
McIntyre.
yeah, because Drew McIntyre wanted to go jump over ropes. Oh, come on, Drew. Come on. You can't even jump over the ropes right anymore. Shit.
I told
Well,
y'all.
he jumped. It's reported that Kofi Kingston has suffered an injury. Don't know which injury it is, but I think it might have been his leg because when we seen Drew Mac attack jump over the rope, he landed on Kofi's leg and it looked kind of bad. So, what do you
I
what
mean,
do
I
you
don't know
think?
if we can necessarily blame it on Drew because it was like spots that they did like outside the ring, and then Drew kind of like went on top of it. The way Kofi went down, it did go down a little wacky to me, but of course we want to send healing prayers or whatever it is people believe in to Kofi Kingston. He might miss Mania, right?
He
Yeah,
might.
because
Oh,
they're saying that he could be out for the next 6 weeks. So, yeah, and that would definitely run into Mania. You
and
know,
it seemed
so
like they were setting up again with all that Intercontinental title picture with Gunther. Who else was
LA
it?
Knight, LA
LA
Knight,
Drew
Sheamus.
Mac,
Hmm.
Sheamus, and Karrion Cross.
So it's
Oh,
like last week. Well, I guess when we get to SmackDown, we'll talk about that. You
it
got
just goes
anything
to
else?
show you that obviously when people say this is fake and they could they could pull the punches and all these things like that, people really do get hurt.
all right.
Yes.
As much as you practice something, as much as you think it's going to come out right, people actually could really get hurt from this. So obviously thoughts and prayers go out to Kofi Kingston in his recovery. Is there anything
Right.
else in the smoking section there, D?
Well, I mean, I guess we could talk about Ronda Rousey. It seems like she's injured as well. She might miss WrestleMania, but they're saying that it's not like they say it's more than likely that she won't really miss WrestleMania because I think it's I'm saying I think. Well, I just overheard. I'll tell you that much. So when you hear this news, you didn't hear it from me. I got it from them. So you might want to take this with a little cap of hot sauce. So she's injured right now. Her arm is messed up. So I think that the night of SmackDown, I think that was real with the arm thing. So
like, did she? Because she was originally, it was supposed to be a tag team match, right?
Yeah,
was it?
Right, yeah. It's supposed to be her and Shayna Baszler versus. But here's the thing: how can that be? Like, if they're supposed to fight for the titles at WrestleMania, but it's looking like it's going to be a 3-on-3 at WrestleMania with Becky, Trish, Lita versus Damage Control. So I don't know how that was going to work. If they're going to get a regular, I can't see Ronda Rousey going in WrestleMania just having a regular ass tag match and not getting that from it.
Well, I think the buzz for Ronda Rousey has fizzled out at this point. So Ronda Rousey has fell into the, into the regular roster. You know what I'm saying? She's not an attraction star anymore. So at the end of the day, any match she gets in, it's going to be, normal and regular because, I mean, are you guys really looking for Ronda Rousey to give you a WrestleMania moment? So
never was.
At this point, I think she fizzled out on her own. Like, it was good when she first came into the company. I mean, from the whole WrestleMania, when The Rock, called her into the ring, and then the following WrestleMania, she had the tag match with Kurt, and then after the third time she headlined WrestleMania. Right now, because she decided to take the year off and the time off and stuff like that, no one really cares about Ronda Rousey anymore. They really don't. I mean, she's the past thing. And if you're on a SmackDown where you have a Charlotte Flair, a Shayna Baszler, and amongst others, you're gonna fall to the wayside. And and I don't think that her character has actually been I don't think has developed from where it came from when she just started coming from the UFC. So, frankly, I could care less what happens to Ronda Rousey. I just want to hear bad reputation played at WrestleMania because I love Joan Jett. So that's it, but other than that, I'm good.
Okay. Wait, and just one more. We're gonna hit this. We're gonna hit this last bit of this blunt before I put it out.
Okay.
Hold on. Oh yeah, my guy. That's Chad Gable. There is rumors. We love rumors that he will be getting his run. They're gonna push harder for him. He's gonna get that singles run, and he's gonna, you know what I mean? I know all three of us are high on him just as much as high on him, and this is the smoking section.
Smoking section, good.
So yeah, so it's rumors that he's going to be pushed to the motherfucking moon. He's going to be pushed to the moon, and that's what we're hoping that for Chad Gable. He deserves it.
He does 1,000%.
That's my guy.
I mean, I could agree. We all here, as you said, are all high on him. So I mean, him finally actually getting a push, because I think there's people out there who believe that Chad Gable would always probably mid-card and or just switch into an enhanced talent. The fact that they're going to put a push behind him, put a little bit more fire behind that rocket ship that's already going up, right? Shush, please. I cheer him every time I go live, literally. Like, that's my boy. So I'm team in.
He's just another one of those guys, right? And on that roster, that you give him something, and he's gonna make it work.
He's gonna run with it.
You give him lemon. You're gonna make lemonade. Yep, agreed.
And that's what he do. And I'm like, I'm proud of him from since his NXT days to like his tag. He lost Jordan Jason. Then we kind of thought he was gonna get lost in the shuffle, Jason Jordan, and we kind of thought he was gonna get lost in the shuffle. But what he did, he turned that lemon into lemonade, and then he mixed it a little bit with some tequila, and then he put a little lime in it, and then he took that shot, and here we are with him today.
And that's why you're Big Daddy Booze. You mix that up real good. That's up. That's all for the smoking section.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
All right, that was a great smoking
All right,
section.
that was a good smoking section. Now, without further ado, let's talk that talk and let's go straight into the turnbuckle talk. The Mashed Out
Yes.
King, tell us what all happened.
Well, we got the week in review, a hell of a week. We just talked about in the smoking section, but nonetheless, there's 3 different shows to get to. So much little time, but I'm going to try to get through as fast as I can. And let me tell you something. I only pick highlights that I thought was entertaining, from the show. So I'm not going to run through 19 hours worth of wrestling, but but we're going to get through it, y'all. All right, so let's get to Monday Night Raw from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I mean, really and truly, the armpit of America. So we have
A little musty there.
yeah, I don't. All right, so so the show started out with Jimmy and Solo Sikoa opening the show, right? I thought that was pretty entertaining. You know what I mean? They were discussing the cracks in the bloodline, and things like that. And basically what's going on with Jay and what have you. I want to just ask both of you guys, what did you think about the segment? I'll get to, I'll get to that after. What did you guys think about the opening segment of Monday Night Raw?
I liked it because, for one, that's when my guy Montez came out and he still became a star. Montez, he's always gonna find a way. And which I found it interesting because it's like is pulling you in. Like sometimes you think you'll get a little bored with it, but it's like it's that Jey Uso. Jey Uso is making it more interesting because you don't know what he's doing and where he's going to go with this. Like, and for them, the way they're stretching it, it's like, how you say, like, it makes it more intriguing.
Right.
I'm more intrigued about this shit week by week, day by day. So that's what I gotta say about that.
Random thoughts.
I definitely enjoyed the interaction between the Street Profits and kind of like Solo and Jimmy, right? It almost reminded me of like being in high school and the 2 guys of the teams are like talking shit about each other or whatever the case may be. I actually think that this match, once again, because the buzz is so high on Montez Ford, you kind of saw more AD in there, a little bit more Angelo Dawkins in there, and it was kind of trying to, give him some footing too. Like, hey, look, yes, Montez is a star, but this guy might be a star too, and we'll find something to do with him. What I definitely liked about the match was seeing that something about Solo Sikoa. I think Corey Graves said it. He said it's like putting a Porsche engine in a bulldozer, and Solo Sikoa was definitely moving in that match. So I was here for it. It was a good way to kick off Raw. As you said, it was Grand Rapids, Michigan, but other than that, it was good. I fucked with it.
You guys said it more eloquently than I could. It was from bell to bell, great match. The interaction was good. All 3 of us is high on Montez, so we want to see how far Montez could go. I do see Montez, hopefully before the year is out, in the title picture because Cody is going to need opponents. We know that Roman probably after Backlash, is going to just take off for the rest of the year because hopefully he don't Hulk Hogan the situation and take off the whole year and then come back and want to win. But we know he's going to take some time off and things like that. So I would love to see Montez in the title picture. I would love to see Angelo Dawkins into the United States title picture. I think that'd be a great thing, and what have you. Okay, so next that I picked out on the list, let's jump right down to our next guy that we just talked about not even 10 minutes ago. The match of the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes versus Chad Gable. Now, let me start off with this. I am big on Chad Gable, as you guys, as D you said earlier. Great match. I think that Cody definitely shined in this match as well, and of course Chad shined. I think Cody shined because it's the fact that I realize how versatile Cody is, that he could go against different people and match their energies. So that I don't know if that comes from being the son of Dusty, but the fact is that just as his versatility alone, that he could go strong style. He could go, amateur style.
Grappling, yeah.
He has the different angles. Since you just said it, random thoughts. What's your thought?
First of all, I was so excited to see this match. I want to see this match on a premium live event where the stakes are just a little bit more higher. I'm high on both of them, both Cody Rhodes and Chad Gable. I could only imagine like what else they can do if they go on with a best of three, best out of three series. I can only imagine if Gable gets a little bit more of his personality there, where he can take this match. That whole spot with the suplex by Gable and then the cutter from Cody Rhodes, like the chemistry was absolutely bananas. And I was gonna wait till we talked about Cody Rhodes on SmackDown to say this, but I totally agree with you, Mashout King, about how he's able to take a certain temperature from a wrestler and then match it and kind of turn the notch up just a little bit. So I was highly, 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 highly impressed. And then him cutting a promo saying, "Oh, we know Roman's going to be on SmackDown. I'll be there too." Perfect period to the end of a sentence.
Big Saudito.
Well, I'm high on both of them. I've always been a Cody guy, always. So let's not forget like who he's been trained by and who he's been under. When he first started out, he was with Hardcore Holly. Shout out to Hardcore Holly, a legend. That was my guy. Best damn drop kick in the damn business.
I don't know about legend, but
I don't know about that.
Holly
Mr. Perfect is better.
Oh, well, Mr. Perfect is number 2. Okay. So he has a lot of tutelage underneath his belt, being around Randy, and then him just leaving WWE and finding himself outside of that, and he challenged himself. I feel like anybody that leaves the WWE and go make it big somewhere else, and then they come back, always going to be that shining star that they always was, but they just had to prove it to themselves and prove it to the people in the back. Like, you should have been doing this with me. And Cole, I love Chad Gable. Chad Gable's a great in-ring competitor. I can't wait to see what's next and what's in store for him. He needs a title around that waist and over that shoulder, whatever. And I just like that we are seeing different things now here on this show, right? Like
right.
Cody versus, you put Cody in the ring with anybody, it's going to be a good match. You put Chad Gable in the ring with anybody, it's going to be a good match. So having those two together in the ring and the chemistry they had working in that ring, it was really good. And like Brandon Random said, I would like to see them on a premium live event for something that's for the stakes is just much higher. And when that happens, I know it's just going to be even greater.
Okay. All right. So next that I picked out was Bobby Lashley versus Elias. Not for that match, not for the match, but for the video package that came over, right? Because Bobby grabbed the microphone and decided to, because that was a squash match. So we're not even going to, have to talk about that. But Bobby grabbed the microphone, talked about that he owned Brock Lesnar. He got hit with the low blow. Then out of nowhere, here we go with the video package from Bray Wyatt and things like that. Here's my thought on it. Again, this goes same thing with the Almost and Brock Lesnar match. I don't really see the need of this match because at the end of the day, it's now doing a turn where I guess Bobby is the heel in the situation and Bray is the face. So I think that's where this is going. The video packages really don't say much. It's like we know obviously that there's a match coming up, but there's nothing really said in the video packages. So I'm just looking finally for Bray to talk on the microphone. Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel, what say you?
The video package was funny to me, and I'm thinking maybe it's because Bray wasn't the Bobby looking kind of guy. He wasn't the muscle man, and that's why in some situations we seen him falling less and less down on the card in those times because he's not a muscle man. He don't have the muscles. He don't have the physique, right? So maybe that's something he's channeling inside his mind, and it's getting out there. Like, I'm just as good as you, but I don't have your look. And it's something new and it's something different. I want to see different things. I don't want to keep seeing the same shit. So
Okay.
should he add still continue his feud on with Brock Lesnar, said Bobby Lashley. Yeah, he should have, but it was getting a little stale. That finish was trash. But whatever. We on to something new, and hopefully it'll be something better.
Okay. Random
Okay.
thoughts.
So I'm under the impression that one, we're not on to something new, we're on to something to do. I think this rivalry
I
for
know
Bray
that's right.
Wyatt and Bobby Lashley is just for WrestleMania, and then we will continue with Brock Lesnar and the almighty Bobby Lashley come a crown jewel, come a one of the major pay-per-view events that they're gonna need a second headline and pay-per-view event where we'll get Brock Lesnar and the almighty Bobby Lashley part 5, part 4. This is like the Rocky movies, right? Turned into Creed at this point.
Pretty
So
much.
yeah, so I think that's what we will see. What I thought about, I don't know what they're gonna do athletically. They're both really, really good in the ring, and I want to piggyback off of Sour Diesel when he said, Bray Wyatt telling this story of remember him being pushed down or him not being absolutely chosen to be a champion or more or less being a transitional champion, although the hype on him is really, really big, and that the audience is behind him, but he never really gets a chance to because he's not chiseled out of stone like a Bobby Lashley. But the reverb of that is Bobby Lashley had to work to get to where he was because he wasn't, he don't have wrestling family. Like his dad isn't IRS, and his uncle isn't Barry Windham. So we got the tales of two stories here that we would like to probably see come to fruition, but I want to see the end of it at Mania. No more after Mania, please.
I understand completely. All right, let's move to the main event of the show. Okay, so, gentlemen, this main event we saw the team of Damage Control, EO, Sky, and Dakota Kai with Bailey versus Becky Lynch and Lita. So I was so excited about this match because I like Lita. I thought I was like, you know what? Hopefully she could dust it off because the last showings in the Royal Rumble, she looked like nobody want to hurt somebody's grandmother. But the fact is that she definitely pulled it out. And then after my soon-to-be ex-wife Trish Stratus came out and did her thing and all, and I was so excited to see her in the and things of that nature. All right, random thoughts.
Oh, I didn't know he was going to come to me first. Lita's vertigo was making me dizzy. The way she was moving in the ring, I don't know if she suffered from vertigo, but the way she was moving in the ring, it was making me dizzy. I was dizzy. Okay. And I was raised and I watched Lita come up. So I'm used to the whole rope-a-dope. What she was doing in that ring was making me dizzy, but it wasn't much that I expected from Lita. She is, a woman of a particular age, not at ages.
Mm-hmm.
There's the woman, they just celebrated a woman who's 100 years old and she ran a marathon. So I never want to, put a hold on anybody or stop anybody. But Lita, hopefully this is only going to to Backlash with you, with Becky Lynch. We like to see you. We love the nostalgic moments. It was good to see Trish Stratus. If you remember the last show when we spoke about it, I said Trish Stratus was supposed to be infused in there somewhere. Lo and behold, she came out. That's why I'm a wrestling prophet. It was good to see the crowning of new champions with Becky Lynch and Lita. Gives them something to do. Come toward Mania. That's a draw. Shouts out to Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair, who was both at the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards, rocking their titles. So that's what it's all about. Sour Diesel.
That's what's up. So Diesel, go ahead.
Well, mainly I had that match on mute, so wasn't really caring for it. But it was good to see new tag team champions, right? But here's the thing with these tag team titles: them titles are just as transitional as I don't know what to compare it to as, but
the 24/7 title.
Thank you. It's just like that, and I don't see them holding those titles on for very long because who's to say? I know Lita's not going to be here for long. I know it's just
No.
for WrestleMania thing, what have you. I was excited. Like I said, I was excited to see new tag team champions. I was scared for Lita in the ring because I didn't want her to get hurt or anything.
Right.
And and at her age, that she has to. She still did what she had to do. Because hey,
Right.
it's Lita. You know what I mean? And I was excited for the spot. It didn't dawn on me till I was like, oh snap! Her and Io both have the moonsault. So I was like,
Yes.
who's gonna do it first? Who's gonna hit it first? And when she oh my gosh, when she twisted faded Io and Io hit that guy, she sold that shit because her head went right into the damn ground,
Mm-hmm.
right into the back. That was a good spot. Love to see Lita, and just as much as I love to see Lita, I love to see some Trish Stratus also. So, and that's preparing for the match that's coming ahead at WrestleMania. So, all in all, it was a good main event. It was good to see, women closing the show.
Absolutely.
That was
what
a good
was
thing.
weird? What was weird to me too was the fact that they didn't need to exchange the titles to have the 6-woman match. If that makes sense, like they could have still built up this 6-woman match. Not less. This is for one night, and then the second night it'll be something else, and they're not even like taking the tip of the iceberg with that. So I don't even know if they're going that way anymore. I was like, they didn't need to win the belts. They maybe wanted to make some sort of like social media and like some buzz to show, nostalgia. Lita winning the women's tag team title. I really feel like they should have put the effort of these tag team titles into maybe a mid card or a workhorse woman title, so to speak, like a mid card title, which would have been a little bit better. But we'll talk about that down the line. What's up next?
All right, so let's get into it. Now we're moving on to Wednesday Night Dynamite, live from San Francisco, the Cow Palace. So very historical building for professional wrestling. Rest in peace to Pat Patterson, Roy Shire and other people from the San Francisco Bay Area, professional wrestlers. So Dynamite.
I thought Pat was from Montreal.
that was all.
Storyline.
Well, no, actually, he was originally from Montreal. You're right. He was originally from Montreal. He started his professional wrestling career in San Francisco. Yes. I can't remember the guy's name that was the king of San Francisco right now. His name is escaping me. He used to fight Ray Stevens. There you go. Ray Stevens. Rest in peace to him as well. All from the San Francisco area. So, nonetheless, it started off, of course. Now, here's something interesting. I just want to give a little synopsis before I get into the show. I realized there wasn't that much matches on this episode. Okay, like I sat and counted. I think we only got like 3 matches out the whole show. It's mostly promos the entire time throughout the show. Now, for a go home show, I guess I'll keep my opinion to the end, but I'm going to be very critical about this go home show today. But nonetheless, let's get right into the first match that I picked out, which was freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy versus, Big Cass, aka Big Bill, with Stokely Hathaway. Now, I don't know what title is the All Atlantic Championship. I don't want to sound like an asshole. I really don't want to sound like an asshole. I know AEW is trying their best and what have you. I don't know what this title really signifies. Is this their version of the Intercontinental title?
Yes.
And I know we gave it to Freshly Squeezed. So the match, again, this reminded me a lot of a Ric Flair match, and I'm going to explain why.
Oh, damn. Now,
Rick used to get beat the shit out of, okay? And then out of nowhere, Rick becomes Rick wins and then, puts him in the roll up and wins and wins. This felt very Ric Flair-esque watching this match because I sat there and I said, this man got his ass whooped like the majority of the time, turned around out of nowhere, bang, he wins and retains the title. The All Atlantic Championship. So I just, I like Orange Cassidy. I don't think Big Bill is being used in the right manner. I think a big man his size needs to go against big men. You have enough big men in that company to make it work and make it make sense. I mean, you have a lot of people to get to, and also Diesel. I have something that I want to take from what you said last week. That when I get to that part of my wrap up, random thoughts.
For me, I actually enjoyed this match because it was a believable match. Like we can't have Orange Cassidy going against Big Bill, and it's like he's doing those light foot ankle kicks, and Big Bill goes all the way down. You know, it's something very not. This is our sour Diesel, but it's something very Diesel esque about Big Bill. The issue I had with this match is the crunchy ass Timberlands he had on. I had a very bad issue with them. Them Tims and how they was folding up and how they was crunchy and they were green. And I'm like that. Yeah, I get that he's from Staten Island, or AKA Staten Island is what I always call it. He should know better than to wear them Tims like that with that outfit. What was up with his rain gear? What I did like is that Orange Cassidy definitely sold in this match. I feel a little bit different. I think putting Big Bill into a card where he could possibly be going after a championship that might be seeming like it's a secondary title at AEW was definitely good. They had the combination of like the subdued style of Freshly Squeezed taking on the velocity and the intensity of Big Bill. So I actually enjoyed that match. And this is like the second week they opened up with that Mid-Atlantic, All-Atlantic title. I think would be more interesting. Yeah. All-Atlantic, sorry. Who's Mid-Atlantic? Where did I get that from?
That was a wrestling company.
The fact that you said Bell Atlantic.
My bad. The Bell Atlantic Championship. My bad.
Oh my gosh.
Overall, it was all right.
All right. So Sour Diesel, hit us.
Sour cream.
Me personally, you know, I'm not. It was a good match. It was a good match. It was, for what it was worth, it was a good match. Big Bill, he needs to be used like they need to use him in a way where he has some type of importance to the company, right? He's the biggest guy. Well, no, he's not the biggest guy.
He's one of the biggest.
He's one of the biggest guy, and I feel like he should be treated as some good, valuable
talent, like attractive talent, right?
Yeah, he switched up everything. Like he said that he came back stronger, harder. Pause. Sorry about that one. They just need to take him more. He needs to be taken more seriously, and needs to be put in more serious situations. And I feel like once they do that, he's going to become something unstoppable. That's what I feel.
But we don't see him with what's his name? Raja Singh. What's the other big guy that's always with Jeff Jarrett, and
I think his name is Raja Singh. Raja.
Singh Raja.
Yeah, well, we don't want to see him in a match with Big Bill. Like, we don't want to see that.
Yeah, we don't want to see that.
No, first of all, I want to see him the name Big Bill. Like, I hate that name, Big Bill.
and he's not even linked to money. Damn.
Maybe. See, I was just about to say that. Maybe Big Bill means he's probably big money. He's Big Money Bill.
Not with them crunchy ass Tims on. Not with them crunchy Tims on. Nope.
They should have named him Big Money Bill. Right, so you know what? I wonder if they will book him against Daniel Bryan. I mean Bryan Danielson. Just that he can't beat up no. He just said he can't beat on no midgets.
So
I mean,
this brings us to the next match that I picked out, which was, of course, it would not be AEW without a battle royal. I mean, it just would not be any AEW show without a battle royal. So they came out to the Face of the Revolution ladder match to pick the final team to go in to get the tag team championships, and it was Konosuke Takeshita versus Ortiz, and AR Fox versus Eddie Kingston, and Powerhouse versus Sammy Guevara, versus Andrade. I mean, Action Andretti. Sorry, I always say Andrade. And Command. So let me say this. So this was the match that I was talking about. So last week when you said where is LA Knight, I wanted to say where is Powerhouse Hobbs, right? Because that I was trying to figure out where the hell was this man, and Powerhouse Hobbs had a great showing in this match. Now this match, to quote Random Thoughts, was very botchy. Okay, it was very botchy. There was a few times where I cringed and closed my eyes when that backflip, that suplex that they did off the top rope with Sammy hit his head on the ladder. I almost I said, "Oh my God, what the hell is going on here?" This is why the roster always gets injured. Come on now, Tony. Come on now, Tony. This is why the roster always gets injured. Why is it that these men are sitting here, doing these moves, and you have no way of getting out of it? Like there was that move, there was a move on the ladder on the floor that was botchy, and I just said, fellas, come on. You guys have to have a long career. You want this company to succeed, right? You can't die within a year. You have to have a long career.
You can't die within a year.
Within a year. That's a t-shirt.
Fellas, this doesn't make any fucking sense, okay?
It don't.
They need, I know that they have the gimmick ambulance that's out in the back all the time. No, they need a legit ambulance in the back every time a wrestler goes out there, because they want to show and prove so badly that they're not the WWE. They willing to die for this motherfucker. Okay, they willing to die for this motherfucker. All right, I just had to get that off my chest. Random thoughts.
Tell them how you really feel. Well, clearly this was all a storyline, not for the Ring of Honor TV Championship, but the TNT title, right? And who currently holds it is Samoa Joe, who holds the Ring of Honor TV title and AEW TNT title, which I really hate. First of all, that's my first gripe. There's more than enough athletes and superstars within the company that they have under each bill where they can split the titles and have viable contenders for said title. This is clearly the big man title, so I really wanted to see how they were going to transition Samoa Joe long rivalry with Wardlow into a beef with Powerhouse Hobbs, who did end up winning. I just had a few questions watching the match, like why the hell was Eddie Kingston wearing the laminate around his neck like he was a worker at Old Navy?
I don't know. I don't know.
And is Powerhouse Hobbs AEW's answer to Big E? That's another question I have. I don't know if we want to pose that.
Well, clearly he must be, because they both equally don't be on the show. So he must be the answer.
Well, Big E is injured. When Big E was around, Big E be around. He'd be outside, but Big E is injured. So it's a reason why he wasn't there. When Powerhouse Hobbs did that clothesline and he almost took, what's his name? Take the shitter. What's his name? Kushne, take the shitter.
Tanashka Titito.
Yeah, Tanashka, baby boy. The thick Asian. Him. When they when he almost took his jaw off, the Ray Phoenix, was that Ray Phoenix? No, that wasn't Ray Phoenix. Who was that?
No, that was hold on, let me go back. That was,
what's his name? Well, the guy wearing the yellow. That was where he did the bocce spot with Andretti and Sammy Guevara.
Commander, that was his name. Commander.
Yeah, Commander. There we go.
I thought that was Kalisto. Okay. Oh, Kalisto.
Maybe it is. For all we know, maybe it is. I don't know if Sammy Guevara thinks that he's Jeff Hardy. I don't know what he was trying to do with that Swanton bomb. But the match was definitely Botchelmania, if I ever seen Botchelmania. And my biggest gripe with the whole match is, why the hell were the referees holding the ladder?
I didn't understand that. I did not.
You never see that in WWE.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point, Brandon. I never thought about that. Yeah.
And then you have, even after Hobbs win, you see him talking to them like, hold the ladder, hold the ladder. Like, what? Why are they holding the fucking ladder? I just wanted to know that.
Absolutely right.
Big Daddy was Howard Diesel.
I'm so sorry, gentlemen. I'm trying to go over this match again one more time. I'm looking at it right now, and oh my gosh, this is a horrible match.
It was like Random Thought just said, it was Botchelmania, bro.
Yeah, and to think like we have a they have a pay-per-view coming tonight, right? So why would you put these guys? The suplex and to hit. Oh my gosh, why would you put these guys in a match like this, knowing you need them for Sunday?
Yes.
What the hell is wrong with you? And then I'm just looking at a match right at the part right here where he Action Andretti, he goes for the suplex to Sammy Guevara.
Mm-hmm.
His foot is touching the damn prize that they need to win. It was just too all over the place.
Now, even Samoa Joe said he's not in place. If you watch that match back without the commentary, he said he's not in place, and I guess the ref had to signal to say, like, you know what, let's call an audible mid match because they had to readjust. Because let me tell you a little secret: if that move went ahead, we would not be talking about AEW pay-per-view this weekend. We'd be talking about what day is Sammy Guevara's funeral. Okay, that's the conversation we've been having.
You know what? I don't want to cut off Sour Diesel's thought, but you just triggered something too. What the hell? Why? Maybe because the Iron Man match is an hour and these guys, a lot of them won't be in matches besides maybe the tag team matches. This was their spot that they decided to give them a chance to fight and give them TV time. I'm not sure, but why would they do that and put them at risk at a pay-per-view coming up this Sunday? And they have pay-per-views every 3 months.
It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. And why are we going all out going all out when, like you said, when the weekend's about to be the pay-per-view right then and there? That is called ass backwards booking. It made no sense whatsoever. I'm sorry, Sour Diesel.
And this thing with Sammy Guevara, he really needs to calm down. He has to calm down because sooner or later he's gonna be a Jeff Hardy. Your body's gonna be all hurt, broken up, and you're gonna be on painkillers, and he's gonna mess his life up. He needs to relax. We already know that you can do what you do in the ring, and when you do it at most times, it looks, I'm not gonna say effortless, but it's good. But you do too much to where you botch. He be trying to do some crazy stunts, and then when he do it, he still fucks up. So I don't know what he's trying to do. He needs to take it down a notch. You know what I mean? Until you get to that E. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing. When your boss is an indie wrestling fan, your boss is limitless. And I'm not talking Keith Lee, okay? I'm talking about your boss could give two flying fucks on what you're doing. He does not know how to write a match. He refuses to go to the people in the back, the older wrestlers, to say, let's map it out. He doesn't want to use them as agents for the match because he's the agent. So that's why you have botched matches as we do. That's why you have matches where you have to close your fucking eyes because you're hoping that we don't see another Owen Hart on live television. That's what you're trying to hope not to see. And this is exactly what that match was given if it definitely went the wrong way.
I mean, this is like the fourth year that AEW has been alive, right? This will be the fourth year. I mean, every year and every match and pay-per-view, whatever, it's Sammy Guevara, whatever his damn name is. He always fucking something up. If he's not fucking something up, he's fucking up his opponent, the person he's supposed to keep safe in the ring. Like, it's just too much for me. And if you're watching a match damn near all the time with your eyes closed, it's like, shit, I missed the whole damn show because it's no choice. Always botch.
You have no choice because you're trying to go to bed normally after that. You don't want nightmares. You know what I'm saying? Like, you trying to go right to sleep. You ain't trying to be up all night wondering, is this a work or was it a shoot? Speaking about that, so I jumped one segment real quick, and I wasn't really looking to talk about it, but I decided to bring it up. So they did a John Moxley promo. Why was the man already fucking bloodied? He didn't do anything. Why was the man already bloodied? He didn't do anything.
That was from last week.
This was supposed to be last week after him and Evil Uno had that match and he was bloody. This was his whole, I'm assuming, Mick Foley spiel or shtick, or I don't know what it was doing. I had my TV muted during that segment. I just saw blood, and them kept panning down to the like, yeah, get more blood, get more blood. So for me, it was. I am not a John Moxley guy, and I don't think there's nothing.
I just wanted to point that out. All right,
no, that was a good point out. I did see that you skipped it, but I see why.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump all the way down because we're gonna go promo. I don't want to do the Chris Jericho against Toyota Avalon, so I want to go down to
what?
Yeah, Pretty Boy Avalon. I think that's his name. Toyota Avalon. I thought that was a waste of time match. So I want to jump down to Hook versus Matt Hardy. So I'm not a Hook guy. Are you guys Hook guys? I'm not a Hook guy. I don't see what they see.
My feedback was, I promise you, my feedback was, a guy I couldn't stand at first, but learned to respect is the cold-hearted, handsome Devil Hook, because I like his in-ring skill only. I don't like the quiet personality. I hate that stupid Fondoobie, Ryu, Street Fighter hair. The look, him supposed to be Taz's son. It's all stupid. But what he does inside the ropes, I realized that maybe he had to go in the ring with a veteran like Matt Hardy, so that I can actually see what it is he can do in the ring besides it being gimmicky, because everything about him is gimmicky. But I'm sorry, proceed.
All right. Yes, like I said, I just literally could not. Listen. I'm about to say this. I don't give a fuck. I'm tired of Matt fucking Hardy, man. Stop. Delete your ass, nigga. Okay? Delete your ass. Okay?
Get him out of here.
It's over, bro. It's over. No one gives a fuck about this, all right? When you go delete, it should be like delete my ass. Okay?
When I first heard the music, I thought it was Jeff Hardy. I thought Jeff Hardy was coming.
Brandon thought I done so too.
It's this nigga.
He came out with the old Hardy Boy music.
Y'all talking about Eddie Kingston need to be up in the staircase cleaning. Matt Hardy needs to be at the bus stop getting ready to go to work to do construction. Okay, like that's
he's the supervisor. He's the supervisor. Hey Eddie, you missed the spot. Get that shit, nigga. No crazy horse for you.
One that inherited the job from his father. that's they passed that motherfucker down.
It's a family company from Cameron, North Carolina.
Listen, I'm sitting there like, nah. I was like, I said, Jeff back? Then when I saw Matt Hardy bitch ass, I said, nah, they play all day.
You know they did that. God. You know they did that to fuck with us. To fuck with us.
They did. I said they play all day.
Because isn't Jeff Hardy out of the rehab situation or whatever?
He is. But they're not bringing Jeff back. There's no point in bringing him back. There's not. Jeff Hardy has been in rehab almost as much as Jake the Snake Roberts. I don't think that is happening. Shit. I don't think that is happening. Yeah. I think that man needs to stay in South Carolina, and just relax and be retired. That's where we're at. Let him help write
North
matches
Carolina.
out, stuff like that. But he don't need to come back. He doesn't. It's over. Because first of all, what you gonna do? Because when he starts doing well, you already know the cocaine and alcohol, mixed with cigarettes and weed is all gonna be his combination. Okay. So at the end of the day, what are we looking to have that? You want this man on national TV fucking passing out in the ring, and that's not even from a concussion. It's a self-inflicted concussion. That's what you want to see this man do? Come on now, please.
I don't want to watch them dumb ass high fly. Like, come on, the whisper in the wind. That shit is very quiet. Like, I don't hear nothing when he does it. I feel like when they get to I don't want to say to a certain age, but when they get to a certain point in their wrestling careers and they know they can't do what they usually used to do, I think they need to tone it down, switch up your switch up your shit. You just need to switch it up.
Let me tell you something. When your tag team partner for the last 25 years has been cocaine, there's no way for you to sit here and change your wrestling status. Okay, it's impossible.
Well, tell me what wrestler besides all the new kids that's all clean and healthy in the past 45 years who tag team partner wasn't cocaine.
I would say Stone Cold. I would say The Rock.
Well,
Yeah.
most of these
Triple H.
I think most of the talent in AEW is there getting high with their boss Tony Khan.
Listen, first of all, most of the talent in AEW is doing fishbowl parties in the back. Okay, so it's like bring your prescription. Okay,
yeah, what you got?
Whatever your doctor prescribed for your pain, put that motherfucker in the bowl. Okay,
they lay it on the table. Yeah, you got a little Xanax, we got a little perk, we got a little this, we got a little that.
Oh god damn it!
Yeah. All right, so
or e-prescription wrestling AEW. Go ahead.
Exactly. All right, next match on the card was Tony Storm and Rio. Where the fuck Rio been? I mean, listen, was she in the back?
She was in the back making sushi rolls.
I think she was. Because every time she comes out, I think about Kabuki films. Like I think like she needs to put the makeup on, and act bashful and stuff like that. Every single time this woman come out, like I just, I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to, and I feel like we're watching like a live Street Fighter game every time she comes out and wrestles.
And wasn't she like the first women's AEW women's champion? That was her, right?
Yes,
she was, and no one remembers that. Please.
Oh my gosh.
To me, and again, it's like Asuka has returned. Asuka's about to be in one of the main events at WrestleMania. So now let's bring back our Japanese or our Asian representation. The first ever AEW's women's champion in Riho. What's her name? Riho. Right. Riho. Right.
Oh my gosh. Damn it. I just hate when AEW feel like they're doing something when they bring anybody back. Like this past, like what was it? Past days ago when they brought back the murderer, Lance Archer. Like now he has white extensions. Like, come on. I hate when AEW think
I really think they're reserving him for Ring of Honor. I really do. I really think they're reserving Lance Archer and what's the other one? Brian Cage, individuals like that for Ring of Honor. That's just my personal opinion because they have no. Well, according to you guys, anyway, like no one has to win last week in order for them to be in the run-in. Like they'll just pop them up anyway. Like, oh, this week this one's getting a title shot. Fuck it.
Wins and losses doesn't matter anymore in AEW.
That was their thing. Wins and losses counts.
Like
that's my point when we get to the PWI, the list. All right. Say that.
So nonetheless, of course, you know what? A show wouldn't be good if it wasn't for not just one battle royal, but a second battle royal later on in the night. I mean,
these to be continued Royal Rumbles that they're having. Like, what the hell?
Listen, I think this one happens to be the female battle royal. This one that happened, the second one. We had the teams were the Butcher and the Blade, Angelo Parker and Matt Maynard, Preston Vance and Rush. Shouts to Leo Rush. I guess he's actually still working. The Lucha Brothers, Penta El Zero, Miedo and Ray Phoenix, Top Flight, Dante and Darius Martin, Blackpool Combat Clubs, Claudio Castagnoli, which makes no sense because he is the fucking champion on the other show. So now you're disrespecting the title because why would you put the world champion in the tag team turmoil or whatever you call it with Wheeler? I forget that he even works here. Yuta, who is the ROH pure champion. Danhausen, okay. Freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, Aussie Open, which is Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. The Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, and Dark Order's John Silva and Alex Reynolds. Now, again, another bocce move match. However, I think the best part of this match was when it was over because this is very confusing. Anytime you see a whole bunch of people in the ring, and it's not like WWE where they give people time to actually get their moves in and work things out. So now here you're seeing a whole bunch of people, whooping ass in the ring, and you get really confused on what's actually happening here. And it makes the commentators work extremely hard because they're trying to call everything at once. And the one thing about AEW that I don't like is that they don't give you the multiple camera angles as the E does. So now you're just watching the one thing, right? And as opposed to seeing what's going on the other side and what have you. So this match, I think was, definitely rushed. And it made absolutely no sense. I'll take it. I'll give it to Sour Diesel.
Like you said, I feel like the match was a little too much. Did all them damn wrestlers in the ring? Then you have someone like Cesaro. Okay, his name is Cesaro. All right,
Claudio
Castelloni, the Italian man, the Italian mobster.
Not to be confused with a delicious cannoli.
Right. I love a good cannoli.
I feel like maybe they had him in the ring because he's used to being in the Royal Rumble. So
that's what I was gonna say. Yes,
they had him in there too.
But he's the world champion. Do you see Roman Reigns going into a match But
that's different. That's different. He's a Ring of Honor world champion. He's not the AEW world champion.
You want to put him on the same playing fields as all the companies' faces champions. You don't put the man into a battle royal. That doesn't make sense.
Well, you know what?
Standpoint.
Well, you need to tell that to. You need to tell that to one of the best bookers 3 years in a row, Tony Khan, because he's the booker. Okay, and I don't mean the Booker T. Okay, he's the one that did it. He's the one that's doing this. Like, what's up with that?
Listen, this is just piss poor. And then if I see god awful Jeff Jarrett one more time, like, please, listen, it's Jeff. I get it. Your dad passed. They keep pushing and making you out there. So we got to remember Jerry Jarrett. I understand completely. But I'm sick of you, bro. Like, I want you to fucking disappear off television, Jeff. I really, really do. You look terrible, and you look like somebody's father trying to get back into the business. Like, you look like a tired 80s wrestler that just decided that, I just need a check. Yes.
Well, who was even the winners of the match?
Title picture against Castioli.
Who was the winners of that match? Was it the Top Flight guy kids?
No, it was Danhausen and Orange Cassidy.
Who's already another champion?
Oh my god!
That's what I mean. This is what I mean.
Oh my god!
They already have champions, but you have other people who can go for this title, and now you're using them to, like, you're double booking them when you could be using other individuals. Like, what's the one who helped Sammy Guevara in the other match? What's his name? Danny Garcia. Give that nigga a chance. Like, let him get a belt. Let him get to do something. Like, why are you double putting one champion in another match to vie for another champion?
It makes no sense.
I feel like 2.0 guys, they should have been like in that match to win the tag titles so they could have something for the Jericho Appreciation Center.
They was in it. They was in that tag team. They were in it. The tag team.
I know they were, but I'm saying they should have won and they would have went on into the.
Listen to me. None of the real tag teams got any push in that match. All of the real tag teams got eliminated stupidly, and they got eliminated early. Period. Okay. Just for fucking Danhausen, freshly squeezed and powdered donut to win. That's crazy.
That's it.
Danhausen and is a part of the best friends thing. Is he's not?
First
Yeah,
of all,
that's what he said.
First of all, isn't Freshly Squeezed a singles wrestler?
Well, he's in a faction with the best friends.
I don't even know. All right. Okay, so now that brings us to the end of the show, which was the confrontation that actually got cut off on television. Okay. Brian Danielson, versus MJF. Now, this promo fell short. It fell short. It was like, I get it. Daniel Bryan was trying to tell us a story and paint the picture, and said that MJF is jealous of him for many different reasons, that he has a successful marriage and he's put the work in and he has a long career and stuff like that. And he came back from, the CTE thing with the concussion and yada, yada, yada. And then he took the shot and said that, MJF's fiance left him and MJF got upset and he was walking to the ring with a purpose and he stopped himself. And it just fell short. The whole thing fell short. It wasn't, it was not enough to sell me on 60 minutes of seeing this. I'm sorry. This whole storyline has been rushed, not well executed, and it's not selling me on the fact that Bryan Danielson is going to become the champion, come this evening at Revolution. It just did not sell me on that. I could be wrong, but this did not sell me on that. And second of all, I don't want to see 60 minutes of them. I really don't want to see 60 minutes of MJF and Bryan Danielson. Random thoughts.
First things first. Speaking of tonight, Revolution, this is a 1 hour, 60-minute Iron Man match. The way they did this build-up, I'm going to agree with you, one, is totally rushed. They had a long time since the last pay-per-view, since Daniel Bryan returned, for them to be able to build this story up to be a compelling story. They could have went with the rich versus the homegrown, Daniel Bryan is, into solar paneling and in the earth. They could have went so many ways in the build-up creatively of this match, and it feels definitely rushed for Revolution. I don't know if this is part un of dos. However, I don't think that I'm excited to see them for 60 minutes either. They could have gave them a regular match and y'all could have threw in 2 other matches in there that I would have probably hit. Maybe this is when Adam Cole should have debuted and had a match and took on somebody. I don't know. The only thing I can see with this booking is, where does it make sense if Daniel Bryan wins? Who is next in line to really be vying for the title the way they're doing the booking? I mean, Bryan Danielson, pardon me. And if MJF retains, the only kind of faces you see coming up, which I still think is too soon for them, is kind of Jungle Boy Jack Perry and Ricky Stark. If Daniel Bryan goes back down. So where does this go? I don't understand where any of this makes sense. It's just not making any sense.
It doesn't. That's the idea of it. Big Daddy Cool, Sour Diesel.
I mean, it hurts my heart. It breaks my heart. Like, to see Bryan Danielson go out in a way like that, especially like in his promo, you're talking about being a better wife, having a better marriage, like husband, whatever. Like, this is what we're talking about here. No, you are the better wrestler. I want to hear about that. You have better matches. You are a better competitor. Anywhere you ever been, all you know how to do was to be better, a better talent, all that. Like, what? I don't care about your damn marriage. You are not. I ain't come here to hear you about saying, "Oh, you're a better husband." Oh, wow, thank you. I'm gonna watch the pay-per-view this Sunday. No, and to me, with Bryan Danielson and the MJF situation, it's sort of like Miz versus Daniel Bryan. And I would have thought that he would have had that type of fire that he once did when he had with the Miz, and I thought he can bring that experience in with this situation. Like y'all said, the whole thing was just rushed, and I don't know how can it be rushed when they only have 4 pay-per-views, and every one of their pay-per-views are like what, every 3 months or whatever. So you had time, and y'all didn't sit down and y'all didn't execute on like, yo, how are we going to go about this? How are we going to do this? They did everything wrong. And for them to be wrestling for 60 minutes, I'm so sorry. You are not Brett and you are not Shawn Michaels. You got trained by Shawn Michaels, you know, Daniel Bryanson, whatever his damn name is. Danielson, all right, Bryant. But you just, to me, it's like with this, you going back to being your boring ass character when you came out of NXT, and I was just looking at him like, who the hell is this guy?
Absolutely. Now,
I really agree with that. I do.
To end the show on this, to end the this AEW. You know, I'm not promoting them, but tonight is their pay-per-view, AEW Revolution. And listen, next week we'll have the results from that. But you know, nonetheless, I'm this was a very piss poor go home show and build up for.
I would like to add to that. Nothing they have done within this past week of AEW, whether it's AEW Dark, AEW Elevation, AEW Dynamite, or AEW Rampage. Nothing was sold to me to say that I'm going to watch their pay-per-view tonight. Everything sucked. It was especially the go-home show to Dynamite. Like, botchy ass matches, a tag team battle royal that didn't make no damn sense. It was just too much and all over the place. I don't know.
All right.
But this is the Booker, Tony Khan. Okay, I'm sorry.
Having said that, we're moving on to Friday nights, right? Now, WWE SmackDown, Friday night. I don't have the city that they were live from.
Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. Okay. So, yep, the Capital One Arena, correct? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So, Washington, D.C., where the show opened up with the Bloodline, you know, and Roman Reigns about to come out and speak. And, you know, as soon as he starts to give his thought process, here comes that damn Cody Rhodes, man, who comes down to the ring and, you know, basically says, can we have a conversation between the both of us? Now, can I tell you, this is one of Roman's greatest works right here. Like this promo here had me highly entertained. Yes, it had me highly entertained. And it was so damn good. It had Cody like impressed himself. Like you saw Cody's face, like shit. This is the fucking E. Okay. This is the fucking E. All right. This type of promo shit I used to try to do at AEW and it fell short. This is the shit that I'm talking about because let me tell you something. This shit felt really believable. I ain't gonna hold you. This felt extremely believable. And I think that the whole thing from, you know, that said I was trained by my dad, and then the awkward pause, and your dad. Like I said, wow. And he said, and when he did the Dusty impression, and then he said,
baby.
He said, I don't know what it is, baby, but you know, you can't buy it, you can't smell it, you just got it, right?
You got it.
And he said, you know what your dad used to say about you? Nothing. I said, oh shit.
Okay. That shit hurted me when you said that.
I said, oh shit. And it was, you know what? And Cody tried his best to match that, and it was extremely hard. It was extremely hard for him to match that, you know. And I think that this promo definitely hit the mark. Let's go with Sour Diesel because you were the most active.
Listen. Oh my gosh. That was one of the best promos I've seen. Now, that's how you do a one-on-one, a one-to-one, a man-to-man promo. That's how you do it. It was sometimes within that promo, I thought Roman was going to mess up. So I was like, and and I know how good Cody is on the mic. I know how good Cody is. So I was like, I'm a little afraid for Roman. I don't know what's going to happen here. But he did his best. And he did his best character work at that, too. Because when Cody responds to him, talking about saying that he needs to beat him type whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And as we seen Roman give him the smile, but then he'll turn away to himself and look worried. That was so great. Like Roman is great. Great character work, great
Absolutely.
development. He's at his best right now. That was a fire promo. Love the promo.
Random thought.
You got it.
First things first, I'm going to agree with both of y'all. The way that Roman's method of selling is amazing, okay? It's his method, right? It's his aesthetic. It's his, I'm the big guy on top of the mountain. Who are you who just breezed in, right? And with that breeze come like a thunderous roar, right? And the story that they're telling of two actual gladiators, because that's what it's like, right? Cody had to go through the highways and the byways and the mountains to get here. It's just not about Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble and getting to defeat, go on to WrestleMania to take on Roman Reigns to possibly dethrone the Tribal Chief. This is, as they stated, Cody's story versus Roman's legacy. But no, it's not. It is Roman's legacy versus Cody Rhodes' legacy. And this is a story that we all want to see. I'll wait till we talk about WrestleMania predictions, but at this point where we're just right here with this, and I'm sure they're going to have 2 or 3 or 4 more interactions before we get to the big game.
But do you remember that classic line he said at the end, though? Random thought. He said, "Whatever your dad didn't teach you,
I will."
And then not only that,
both of the belts.
when he put the titles on the ground, and then he used Cody's line. So, what you want to talk about?
Talk about
that, and when he said, Have you ever competed for one of these? Have you ever been in a main event at WrestleMania?" And which is crazy because this is 2-time first things for him, right? Two first things for him, for Cody. First time competing at in a main event match at WrestleMania, and his first time challenging for the title. Right? Cody has never, the whole time when Cody was there, he ain't never get that far to where he's like he's fighting a WWE champion, nonetheless the undisputed champion. You know what I mean? And for him to be, and how many times did we see a first timer go to a WrestleMania, fight for a title, or even main event? And I only can think about one person, and that's Cody. I mean Kofi, and maybe Daniel Bryan, but Mashi, where you going?
He's still here. It's still recording. Yeah. So, also what the story, he didn't just lay the titles down. He asked him, did he fight for the world title, which is what his father wanted, and then he asked him about the Universal title, which was really significant because that's the title that Roman really held dear to his heart, was the Universal title. So then now, where do you think this rivalry goes, mic-wise? Where do you think it takes us?
You mean past?
No, where both men had basically both shots has been fired, right? Cody said, "I'm coming to you, and when I get here, I want to talk to you man to man. So whatever you got going on with your bloodline, I don't even give a fuck about." Right? Heard you. Now, I have to beat you. You told me all of this. You were groomed. This is kind of like, the star athlete in the school that the father is the coach to the team and loves the star of the team, and you are not that person. You're the nerd. You're the the outcast. You're the one that's plucked from obscurity. Right now, how do you prove to your daddy, who's not even here, he's watching from the big turnbuckle in the sky, How do you now prove, yo, I'm gonna beat you. I have to beat you. I can and I will.
Damn, that's he's gonna have to come give it. He's gonna have to come give his all. He's gonna have to give his all like he have never given it before. Cody ain't never been in a ring with somebody like Roman. No competitor, no matter how many years of wrestling have Cody wrestled, he ain't never wrestled a guy like Roman Reigns.
Which is
No.
true.
Right? Roman Reigns, how many times he done main event a WrestleMania? One too many I can't even count. You know what I mean? And like I said, Roman is at an all-time high.
He is.
Now also too,
Well, first of all,
Cody
he's
ain't-
in God mode.
he's in
Yes.
God mode. And another thing too, Roman ain't never faced a man like Cody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
With a chip on his shoulder as much as you know what I mean? Like he left WWE. He went on to be great, wrestled in other promotions. You know what I mean? And like how he said, people didn't believe him that he can go with his buddies and start an indie show that'll have more than 10,000 people. You know what I mean? So Cody is constantly having to do something to prove himself, and when he proved himself right. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this right here is one of the. It's a match that I'm scared and excited, right?
Okay.
I'm scared and excited because it's like one, you got Cody fighting for something that he said he needs to have, and then you got something within Roman defending because he needs to keep it.
Absolutely. Now, next match is, which was a squash match, Rhea Ripley versus Brandon Thought's arch nemesis and Liv Morgan. And I'm just gonna breeze past that match because at the end of the day, there's nothing really much to say about it. Brandon Thought's disgusted. The woman even still works for the company. All right. So having said that, we're gonna go down to Dominic Mysterio versus Santos Escobar. Now, listen, I thought this match was pretty decent in the beginning. Okay, I like this guy Escobar, man. I think he's good. All right. What we did also get to see is the fallout after, with Dominic and Ray again. With the mask and Dominic throws the mask on the floor. Ray picks it up and things of that nature. Fellas, what are you locked in for this feud? And how'd you feel about the match? And I'm going to start with Brandon Thoughts.
Last week on our show, I compared this rivalry with the intertwinement of Dominic and the family aspect and Rey Mysterio of not wanting to put his hands basically on his son, which is sort of like Undertaker and Kane. And if this storyline is like that, then someone like Santos Escobar part is very much like Vader, right? Because Vader was kind of like a threat, and how Kane ran through him made the storyline that more important and made him more powerful when it came to the Undertaker. Now switching gears to this, right? I definitely am high on Santos Escobar. I've been saying that since the inception of this show, and I think even the other shows we were on, I've always been rooting for Santos Escobar. I think the story that was told in the match when the mask was on the ring post and Santos told him like, yo, respect your father. And then Dominic was like, no, and spit in his face. That was a little, because, I'm a germaphobe. That was weird. But the overall match was very good. I can't wait to Ray finally do whip Dominic's ass. Although I am Team Dominic. Let me tell you something. Who is most improved to me is Dominic.
Yeah.
And that's my comment on that. Mm-hmm.
Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel.
Santos Escobar. What can I not say about him? Love him. Love his work. He's good on the mic. He's even a good looking wrestler, if you might I add that. And how he carries himself, he's gonna be something great. He's gonna go on to do greater things, right? But Dominic Mysterio, I'd like to add on to what B said also. Like, he is one of the most improved. He's showing that week after week, and I love his heel work. One day, his Eddie is going to come out. His Eddie Guerrero will come out. You know what I mean? And the build up for this, like you might, I think sometimes we probably take it lightly on it, but this has been a long build up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
This is giving me Brett versus Owen. No, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to fight my brother. I'm not going to fight my family
Mm-hmm.
because we have family values. I'm not doing this to make you rich type shit, right? But here's the thing too. And then you know what else it shows? It shows that a father who is scared to, like, he don't want to put his hands on his child. Like, he loves his child so much, like, it's because he don't want to beat his kid. You know what I mean? Like, I can't beat my son. I can't see myself put my hands on my son because it'll ruin the family. Because some fathers is like that. You know, don't want to put their hands on their children because they'll feel weak. And and when they do beat their children, they go somewhere in the corner and cry. So that's what this is giving me. But I say this. I probably like 2 weeks before WrestleMania, or probably 2 weeks before WrestleMania, Ray is going to crack. He's going to crack, and he's going to crack that damn belt on his ass. And I can't wait. I can't wait for
what happens. Absolutely. All right. So next is the Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, LA Knight, the New Day, Karrion Kross, brawled over who deserves the Intercontinental title opportunity against Gunther at WrestleMania. So, it started off with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, in the ring, basically two best friends saying, like, why didn't you tell me you wanted to go for the title? Why didn't you tell me you wanted to go for the title? So it looked like that they split up their friendship very fast as it formed, as fast as it went back out. And after that, now here comes, Sour Diesel's homeboy, LA Knight. Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Here comes LA Knight now. LA Knight comes out to the ring, feeling like Jordan, okay, and basically saying that he deserves it. And of course, Drew and Sheamus wasn't even paying attention to him when he was talking on the mic. But you know what? Why be in LA and have a WrestleMania in LA and not include LA Knight? Then comes the New Day. Good old shucking and jiving New Day. Oh Lordy, pick a belly cotton now. Oh Lordy,
no.
Here they come down the ring, and they make sure that they only went after LA Knight. Okay, like everybody else wasn't there, and and then the brawl ensued. Random thoughts.
Oh, then don't forget about City Karrion Kross.
First, I was going to get there.
Kross,
give me a minute. I was going to get there. First things first, Papa Freaks. Okay. But first things first, the interaction between Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, I saw a mile away. I don't know what happened with the rivalry with the Viking Raiders. Maybe they'll revisit that when neither one of them win the Intercontinental title. I like this, and I'm going to tell you why I like this with all of these men vying for the Intercontinental title. Because they got to do something to still make up for that Money in the Bank for the United States title that happened weeks ago. So to continue to keep more intrigue on Gunther, we have to see these valuable. What I called it?
You said Money in the Bank.
Oh, Elimination Chamber. They both.
Man, you sounded like Damian Priest,
right? My bad. These people got me so excited for the Intercontinental title that I confused the paper.
Oh, he makes me so mad. I just want to punch him in the face.
But sometimes, like all of these competitors, we can see as Intercontinental champion. I think for the first time, we see each contender, we can see them being the Intercontinental champion. And if I disagree, you let me know which one, or we can open that up for the discussion for the fans. But I think each person that is trying to be in the running to become Intercontinental champion, we can see as Intercontinental champion. So I like this engagement. This segment was hilarious to me. It was good. Sorry that Kofi Kingston got allegedly hurt, but it was dope to me. Sour Diesel?
Just like you said, all competitors I would love to see them as Intercontinental Champion because this is the workhorse title, right? And I feel like them having that title, and especially on the guys that never had it, which would be Sheamus, your Karrion Kross, L.A. Knight, and possibly maybe Woods. I would like to see Xavier Woods in this. I really would. He needs a single title for himself because we already had that with Kofi, right? So many times, a bunch of times, and we already had that with E. So I would love for Xavier Woods to be in there because if Kofi is hurt, let's give a Xavier his chance and his shot at it, right?
Okay.
Can you see Xavier defeating Gunther?
I mean,
Stranger things have happened,
right? And if we're doing it as like a probably like I'm guessing there's going to be probably like a 6-man type challenge, everybody in the ring. So I'm thinking it's probably basically going to be something like that. You know what I mean? And I can see. I don't want Gunther to lose the title, but if he is going to lose the title, I hope that's just a bigger picture for him, setting him up to be coming into the main stage, fighting for the undisputed title.
Well, they said the word on the curb. That was the word on the curb. So,
and Cody said he would like to fight him for the title too. He would like to challenge him as an opponent.
Okay. So, nonetheless, the next on the card was Shayna Baszler versus Tegan Nox. I mean, this was a squash match again.
Tegan Nox? I thought it was Tegan Nox before it.
Yes, it was Tegan Nox.
Natalya was on the outside and Ronda was on the outside.
All right. Okay. Excellent showing, of course, by the Beast Shayna Baszler. But we're gonna move on now to Bobby Lashley, who decided to make his way to SmackDown. All right, to confront Bray Wyatt. All right. So when he came down, this is where we now are officially knowing that Bobby Lashley is the heel in this situation. Okay, so now he comes out to confront Bray Wyatt. Guess what? That goddamn Uncle Howdy attacked him in his back. When he was trying to make his speech, but he came with a hell of a spine buster. Shouts to Arn Anderson. He came with a hell of a spine buster on Uncle Howdy, and then it's rumored that this Monday it's going to be revealed who's Uncle Howdy, but that's just a rumor. Now, nonetheless, let's start with Big Daddy Cole, Sour Diesel. What did you take on that? Go ahead, B. You could just do it with me. It's just too sweet.
I liked it. But what I hate when they do the ring trick shit. You know what I mean? Like 1 minute he's in the ring, the next minute, where the hell did he go? It
made no sense, right?
Where did he go? Yeah, it made no sense because if we're trying to build up to something, let's get this ball rolling. I want to know what the hell the problem is. What the problem is and what the business is. You know what I mean? What's up with that? That's what I want to know.
Absolutely. Random thought.
What I thought of this was I kind of think the opposite of what you believe. Like, I think this kind of makes Bobby Lashley still look strong and don't really look like the heel. I think this maybe looks like Bobby Lashley like don't want nobody fucking with him, right? Which we all can relate to. And then when somebody does fuck with you, it is the creepiest person. It's the Unabomber. It's the killer. Like the kid in school that's the killer that is fucking with you, right? Like we've never seen this with the bully and the Unabomber colliding, and the Unabomber got 45 personalities and it's a whole family, and it's opened up to this whole world of mischief and mishap. But like I said at the beginning of the show, let this end at WrestleMania.
Yes. Okay. All right. So it brings us to the main event, right? So the Solo Sikoa versus Sami Zayn. Now, this SmackDown, just like what I was saying with AEW, very little matches in this SmackDown. There was only, actually I counted only 3 matches. that we saw, but the promos were all on point tonight.
It's on the
right?
builder.
All the promos, because there was another one that I glossed over, which was basically Roman Reigns talking to Paul Heyman in the back, right after Jimmy left the room, and he said that if Jimmy does not get Jay back into the fold, he says, "I'm not going to blame Sammy. I'm blaming Jimmy." Okay, so that means that the cracks is opening up wider in the bloodline, but nonetheless, that brings me right back to the main event of the evening: Solo Sikoa versus Sami Zayn. I'm going to start off this time with Brandon thoughts.
First of all, I thought that they promoted this match a hell of a lot throughout the night. Like every time they came from commercial break, every single time, like it was a chance they were promoting this match. What we do see, I'm already in my mind, I guess, because I'm a Roman Reigns guy, not just this tribal chief character, but I'm already seeing the bloodline imploded and broken up in my mind. I'm looking at what Roman Reigns is doing, next year or later on this year when he returns from his break. I'm looking at kind of what the journey for Cody Rhodes as champion is and what it is that they could possibly do with Solo Sikoa moving forward. And this match with Sami Zayn was definitely auspice kind of sort of into the career of Solo Sikoa. If you didn't see some of his great work in NXT, this gave him an opportunity for people to see him in a match and actually go. I definitely enjoyed the match.
Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel.
I ain't got nothing bad to say about this match. I'm a Solo Sikoa guy. Always been a Sammy guy because I love the way Sammy works. I think this was just like the showcase what Solo can do. You know what I mean? Like, and his name is Solo for a reason because I feel like he's gonna have one hell of a solo career.
I could agree with that. I think the whole thing from beginning to end, even Jimmy getting involved, also was good from beginning to end. Now that's it for me, fellas. We went through the week of professional wrestling with that turntable talk. So, random thoughts.
Yes. Now, even though you're gonna have to talk some more because it's match out week, y'all. This is your week to shine. Right now, we want to introduce all the listeners and the viewers out there to a new segment. Well, we've been doing it all along here, but this segment is now called the 3 count. We want to hit them with the 1, 2, 3. Ding, 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 the 3 count, and that is the topic. And this week's topic was introduced to us by the Metal King. Now, talk to us a little bit about what the topic is this week and why we're going to discuss it.
This is 2022 in review, right? Because this has been the last 2 weeks is all buzz because this is what Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel was talking about in regards to promoter of the year being Tony Khan and things like that. Also, by the way, I was very disappointed that Madcap Moss was not on the show on SmackDown. The topic. So getting back to the topic. Sorry, I just had to.
He's probably a main event. It's all right. You could catch it on Peacock.
No. He is the main event. The Brandon thought. Don't insult the man like that.
On Peacock on the main event.
He's not Tiger Ali singing the show like how you know. And by the way, I just want to say one thing before we go into the topic. I know Diesel has to be in all his glory because 2 of his favorite guys is a rivalry against each other, right? With I keep saying Tiger Ali,
Mustafa Ali and Dolph Ziggler.
Ali and Dolph Ziggler has an ongoing feud. Every week they're going to have another match this Monday coming.
And this is when Ali is going to get the clean pinfall victory over your boy. Well, over my boy.
Is he?
Listen. You know what I mean? Somebody's listening to the show because they keep putting, these enhancement talent against each other. The enhancement talent supposed to go against other talent. They're not supposed to keep enhancing each other. But that's a different story. All right. So, nonetheless, we get into the list.
Dolph is enhancing Mustafa. Damn it. Dolph is enhancing Mustafa.
That's definitely alleged. Definitely.
At first, I think you said that's definitely a legend, and I was like, yes, Dolph
No,
is
I
a
said
legend.
alleged.
No, a
Not
legend.
alleged. Alleged.
A legend.
Come on, you guys, leave him alone.
All right. So the Pro Wrestling PWI and the Wrestling Observer came out with their 2022 list. Now, the Wrestling Observer has actually been around for probably 40 years, right? Because from early 1980s till now, they've been reporting wrestling, I should say, and they were the original dirt sheet. So, without further ado, who's ran by David Meltzer, just in case if we're wondering. So, without further ado, we're going to get to the 2022 gentleman list of the Wrestler Awards. Let's get it. So, we got first on the list the Lou Thesz Ric Flair Wrestler of the Year Award, right? They tabulate votes. So, this is by votes, all right, with 3,101 votes. The top guy was Jon Moxley. The second guy with 2,216 votes became Roman Reigns, and the third by 1,591 votes was Will Ospreay. Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel, right? Listen, you are a wrestling aficionado. Do you believe that Jon Moxley was the Wrestler of the Year for 2022?
Oh, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. What did he do great in 2022? Oh yeah,
besides bleed. Besides bleed.
Besides Blade. Oh yeah, I remember. He checked his ass into a goddamn rehab. Okay?
Right.
Checked his ass into rehab and then came back, became a champion. Like, was that the greatest thing he done? Jon Moxley sucks to me. I don't like him. I didn't like him when he was Dean Ambrose. I don't like him as Jon Moxley. How dare they put these awards might have been like, I don't know, how you say,
rigged?
Of course rigged, but I feel like they put it in a place where no one can see it. Like they posted it somewhere else, like on some other website where probably AEW stands, all right? Because it was nowhere in my site. Because if I seen these awards, I damn sure would not be voting for no Jon Moxley to be the number one guy. Are you kidding me or are you shitting me?
Of course
Roman
not.
Reigns had one hell of a 22. What the hell?
But then what's interesting about this, and Brandon, I know you're on mute. What's interesting about this choice of Jon Moxley was technically Jon Moxley did not work the entire year. For you to sit there and put this man as the Wrestler of the Year, he did not work the entire year of 2022. So that's where I'm very confused. Brandon, thoughts? Can you clear up the situation? Can you explain why would they pick a Wrestler of the Year?
I can't clear up. All I can back up and verify that it should have been Double R Roman Reigns on the fact of that he saved us all the way back. Even if they want to take it back and say it's not just from when he won at WrestleMania, if you want to take it back to the Thunderdome era, when he returned and became first the Universal Champion, beating The Fiend and Braun Strowman, he saved the Thunderdome era, taking it into when we back to an audience, coming back, being the Tribal Chief. Like, what? I would have rather. Now, I would have thought it was fair, and I would have thought that it was just independent marks if it was Will. But the fact that it was Jon Moxley, like his merch doesn't even push that much for that to be that number. So I'm suspecting some sort of payola or something.
Absolutely not. We're gonna jump down now to the next category. I'm gonna skip over the MMA because we don't discuss MMA on the show. So we're gonna go to most outstanding wrestler. So with 4,807 votes came Will Ospreay. Number 2 with 1,286 votes, Bryan Danielson. Number 3 with 703 votes is Kazuchika Okada. So this is somebody from New Japan. So best wrestler Will Ospreay. Now let me say something. Brandon thought you just said something so profound. When you said that it would be just Marks, was voting for Will Ospreay and what have you.
The independent.
Will Ospreay is not on the mainstream, right? I like him, but he's not on the mainstream to say most outstanding wrestler. I do think there's other people that could have won that category as well. That has a little bit more notoriety than a Will Ospreay. But you know what, Brandon thought, take it away.
Well, to me, this category is most outstanding wrestler. That's the name of the category. And even though he's not mainstream, I am a Will Ospreay guy. Like, this guy is nothing he cannot do. He is in the realm of AJ Styles, Finn Balor, like Montez Ford. Like, he's in his own kind of realm, and whether he is mainstream or not, he is every match you see him in, he's outstanding. I think AEW should have saved them some money and signed some of the people that they signed, and should have really opened up the checkbook and had him come over with his whole kingdom, because the time he spent over in AEW was amazing, and everything he did on screen, everything he does in New Japan, everything he does in the indie show, his recent match with Kenny Omega, like, come on, he deserved that right there.
He did. Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel.
I like Will Ospreay. Anytime I see him, he's doing some. The title of the award speaks for itself. Most outstanding, and when I see him, he does some most outstanding shit in the ring, and the most outstanding shit in the ring going outside of the ring. You know what I mean? Like, this guy can really perform. He puts on a great performance, and I would love to see him. I always love to see people in my company. I would love to see him in the E going against Seth Rollins, going against AJ Styles, going against Finn Balor, going against Montez Ford. Sorry for the mic.
That's all right. That's all right. All right. The next on the list, we're going to go Tag Team of the Year for 2022. All right. With 3,859 votes, FTR. With 1,357 votes, Mark and Jay Briscoe. And with 937 votes, the Young Bucks. Now, I totally agree with FTR. I totally see FTR as an amazing tag team. I cannot wait till they debut back in the WWE. However, okay, the other two on the list that made it, I was like, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I think we passed up a lot of great tag teams, and even AEW tag teams. They were better than the Young Bucks. I think the Acclaim had a good showing for 2022. I think that going back to the E, I think that obviously the Usos, had a great showing for 2022. I think that even Chad and Otis had a great showing in 2022. So, and there's many more to name that I just escaping me right now. But, fellas, Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel, why don't you take it away?
It was shocking. It was shocking for me not to see any people from the E on there as tag team, as one of the, a good year for tag team wrestling. Because, like you said, you named it, Usos was definitely one of them. I think that's just some hating ass shit not to have the Usos on there. But FTR, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I love FTR. And to me, those are E guys. So to me, that list, they are from WWE. They are WWE. And I'm going with FTR. I love them as a heel tag team because they give me that old school feel of heel and as a tag team. So I mess with them. And I feel like
definitely Road Warriors-esque.
Yeah, and I feel like it should have been more I don't know what they was doing when they came up with this list or whatever as far as the tag teams go, but I mean, come on, it was some other tag teams out there that did their thing.
Random thoughts.
I had this kind of a discussion with Sal Diesel briefly earlier on the phone, and I talked about every era having like a tag team that goes beyond just one federation, but across like federations, right? Like you had the Fabulous Freebirds. Yes, they was like in NWA, but they went through a lot of different promotions. You had the the Midnight Express, right? Then you had the Road Warriors, aka the Legion of Doom, and then the Dudley Boys, right? They were for the whole Attitude, whatever era. This generation, it is definitely FTR, who reminds you of a little bit of all of those teams combined together. What I think is sus about this list is that you mean to tell me that for someone, you just made a point that Will Ospreay is not really known, and 4,807 people voted for that, but only on the tag teams, a little under that, 3,859 people voted for FTR. That's like that number is weird to me because FTR, both singles and as a tag team, has been on TV all of 2022, even with injury.
Correct.
This is the longest we've seen them not on TV. So I just think that that's a little weird about the number, but I'm team FTR on this one. I do agree with y'all. Why the Street Profits ain't on here? Why the Usos are not on here? Like, go ahead.
Yeah, this is a very tainted list here. All right, next on the next is best interviews with 2,984 votes. MJF comes in at number 1. Number 2, 1,561 votes, John Moxley, and number 3 with 961 votes, CM Punk. I'll save mine to the end. Let's go. Random thoughts.
First of all, this list is payola at its finest, okay? Because 1, don't nobody remember nothing from a CM Punk interview. 2, are they talking about them in the ring and going out and doing a promo? Because what do they mean by best on interviews? Because I don't recall any of these people besides maybe MJF actually in fucking interview. So I don't even know how they contrived this list, how they came up with this list, how these people won. Of course, anything with talking and MJF, I expect to have high numbers and expect people to vote for without even people actually having the knowledge of how to cut a good promo, how to just not be a heel promo worker and just rev up the crowd and talk shit about the crowd. But Sour Diesel.
Yeah, I'm confused about.
There's other people. There's other people that could be on this list.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if this was like if they meant interview or promo.
It gotta be promo.
Then I most certainly agree with MJF being up there, but CM Punk, no, what he did that was great. And I've seen this the other day. Is CM Punk really good on the mic, or he was just good on the mic for that pipe bomb? Because I think anything else after that falls flat. You know what I mean? John Moxley.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was on the wrestling realm.
Yeah.
That's John Moxley, yeah, that was a good conversation.
John Moxley, his interviews, they just be a little too erratic or whatever.
And
bloody. But sometimes I can't remember. Was it the interview when he was on promo? I think the last one when he was going for the title or whatever, defending his title, when he spoke with so much passion into it. I'll say that. Sometimes he could be a little passionate. But other than that, MJF, but that list is
yeah. But what about Cody Rhodes? Cody Rhodes didn't have good
interviews? That's what I was saying.
What
about Cody Rhodes?
What about Roman Reigns? I mean, the list was definitely tainted. I mean, MJF, of course, but the only speech for John Moxley that I kind of thought was really good is when he came back from rehab. Yeah, when he came back from rehab, that was pretty passionate. That was pretty good. Yeah, CM Punk, I mean, the night he came back, I was there in Chicago that night when he came back. That's really about it. That's really about it for him.
CM Punk came back came back to wrestling what year? 21 or 22? It was 21 leading into 22, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't see anything else really for him. And his promos, frankly, the promo against Hangman Adam Page, when Hangman Adam Page went into business for himself, that was all Hangman Adam Page. And then I think his best promo work for 2022 was the media scrum. I think that was his best work.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that wasn't a work. That was a shoot. So that was a pipe bomb for 2022. All right, next on the list, which we know this is obviously one big game, okay, is promotion of the year with 3,270 votes, All Elite Wrestling. With 1,561 votes, Stardom, which is also that's in Japan, and with 1,848 votes, which this 8 maybe be a 3 because I don't know how they would be. It looks like an 8, but I think it's a 3. Is World Wrestling Entertainment. So obviously we know this is one big game to put All Elite as number 1. And then Stardom is number 2, which don't even have I don't even know if they have a television rights. Stardom, it's a female Japanese wrestling company. I don't know how they would be number 2, and the E should be number 1 only because the E had an incredible 2022. They started off a little slow, but they finished off strong. So I don't know how is it possible that they could have honestly come in as number 3. But you know what, Brandon? Thoughts? What's your thought?
First of all, I think it's racist. And I'm gonna call a spade a spade. It's racist. This list is definitely racist. The year that we had the almighty Bobby Lashley as the champion, the year that we had Roman Reigns as the champion, the year that we had Brock Lesnar as the champion. You mean to tell me all these different draws? We had Bad Bunny at WrestleMania. You had Logan Paul infusing himself in all of these eyes of people who might not have watched wrestling are now tuning into wrestling. And you mean to tell me that only 1,848 votes went towards voting toward World Wrestling Entertainment? Even if you don't even watch it, periodically you see a voting or something like that, you would know WWE before you know AEW.
And
that's all
don't
I'm
forget
saying.
Stone Cold returning as well.
Stone Cold at WrestleMania having that match with Kevin Owens is right there on Sour Diesel's shirt for those of you that's tuning in on the YouTube. What?
Come on, man.
It's a crock of shit. It's a crock of shit. It's a crock.
They did bad with this list. WWE does not deserve to be no damn number 3. Stardom, I don't know.
I think Tony Khan wrote this.
I know it's an all-woman promotion. I know Stardom's an all-women promotion, but I never sat down and really I don't even know where to watch it. I don't even know how to watch it. So so you mean to tell me not even New Japan Pro Wrestling should have been up there? TNA. And let's cut out the malarkey here, okay? There's other wrestling promotions out there. We have MLW. Right. MLW is a good promotion. I like it. We have Dead Alliance Wrestling, whatever that shit is called. I'm sorry if I didn't get the name right. But there's other promotions out there, and you put AEW at number 1. First and foremost, don't nobody bring more star power to this wrestling industry like WWE. And when I mean star power, I mean people outside of being wrestlers. Having Bad Bunny come here and dedicate himself to being to doing what these wrestlers do, that's just enough to be said. And then you have Logan Paul. Are you kidding me or are you shitting me? This is crazy to me.
And also just production value alone, the E has it.
Hello.
With the pyro, the lights, everything. So I just don't understand how they would say AEW is the wrestling promotion of the year. Next on the list is Best Weekly TV Show. All right, with 4,020 votes comes AEW Dynamite. With 1,847 votes, WWE SmackDown, and with 911 votes, AEW Rampage. Now, here's the thing with this, right? This, first of all, SmackDown has been hitting on all cylinders for 2022. All right, they had the great storyline with the Bloodline. They knew how to infuse everyone else into the show. So the fact that you would have AEW as, you know, Dynamite as the number one product, it just behoves me because I'm very confused on this. Second of all, AEW Rampage. If people catches it, it's a Good Friday, right? You know, and I think that the only time people watch it maybe is Good Friday. So the fact is that there's no way that they could sit there and say that this is the third show. Because number one, it's an hour. Number two, it's full of promo. Number three is that you don't see the top talent. Number four is that the audience is already wind down because they have to sit now through another hour of tape television. Number five is you don't even know who the real commentators are because 1 week is JR, 1 week is Chris Jericho, 1 week is Big Show, 1 week is Mark Henry. So there's no way of really knowing what the hell is going on the show, okay? So we got that going on. Then the nerve to say that their number three is a disgrace to professional wrestling, okay? Because the show doesn't even have its own identity for you to sit there and say that 1 hour after SmackDown that the majority of wrestling people is actually watching this god-awful entertainment. So let's take it to random thoughts.
First of all, AEW Dark. You just went off. I don't even know. I don't have nothing to say. I just have to say.
Yeah, you like the same sentiments you had, brother, is my same sentiments. But to add on, who in the blue hell is writing this shit? Like, this was terrible. Ain't no way Dynamite is number one. Are you shitting me or are you kidding me? SmackDown, number one. Dynamite, maybe number two. And I will give Raw number three. That's my opinion. Everybody hates the third hour of Raw, but Raw is the start of them all for the wrestling week. You know what I mean? So, like, how can you leave off one of the longest running weekly scheduled programs?
It is the longest. It is
the
longest.
I mean? It is the longest. And then, nonetheless, come on. Michael Cole is on commentary for our Friday nights, right? And he since the thing with Vince, Michael Cole has gotten better. You know what I mean? He's himself.
Right.
I look forward to hearing him. I look forward to Friday nights when I want to go out or whatever. I look forward to watching my wrestling, which is SmackDown, and then taking my ass outside and doing what I'm going to go do.
You know what? You know what? We're all in agreement that this is one big fucking game because this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So let's go to pro wrestling match of the year. All right. So now this one makes me look like I gotta pull out my thesaurus to pronounce the name. So number one, Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay with 256 votes. No, I'm sorry, with 2,016 votes. With 1,924 votes, FTR versus the Briscoes, and with 1,359 votes, that doesn't make sense because how could you have the same match? Oh, okay. So, all right. So they're saying on the one that was on January the 5th, Kazuchika Okada versus the Will Ospreay. So
no.
Listen, first of all, I didn't even listen, fellas.
No, you can't put the two same. It's two different dates. Granted, cool, but you gonna have to pick one out of those two. You can't pick two of the same. And you know what? That's not even an AEW thing. So cool, whatever. But the dumbest shit ever.
You know, I know I keep sounding biased, but I have to say this. You have to these matches are not really on mainstream television. Okay? They're not. They're just not. And I just sit back and I say, so you wouldn't even pick one that the E didn't do any match really good in 2022? You know, like no match really did well. Everything fell short in fucking 2022. Like that didn't make
They could have
sense.
put the
Even
Hell in a
AEW
Cell
didn't
with
have nothing.
Cody Rhodes. They could have put the Hell in a Cell with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins in this. They could have
Exactly.
put the Edge and I'm not even an Edge head, and that was a fucking outstanding fucking match. They could have put so many different matches on here. They could have put a what was actually a
Stone
decent
Cold.
match in
They could have put
AEW with
Stone Cold and Kevin Owens.
Yes.
They definitely could have. They could have put Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes if they wanted to put two. They could have put Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes from WrestleMania. That was an awesome match. Like there was a plethora of matches that they had that they could have put on here that is not here. So unfortunately for me, this
Exactly.
list is biased, but we can move
All
on.
right. So we're gonna jump down a little bit. You know, we're just gonna go because there's a ton of different categories. We're already now in category B. So I'm gonna go down to the United States Canada MVP. Number one with 638 votes. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. John Moxley. Okay, the
John Moxley.
John Moxley is the number one wrestler in the United States and Canada with 232 votes. Roman Reigns, and with 32 votes, you know, I mean, did you expect anyone else but Chris Jericho? I mean, did you not know he was gonna be the guy?
So you mean to tell me nobody else from out of the list, whoever the list had, whatever they had, because I ain't see it. So you mean to tell me Roman Reigns got 232 votes, right? And after that, nobody voted for nobody else but Chris Jericho and his
First of
32
all, it's for
votes?
Canada. No Canadians voted for
Yeah.
Jericho.
Listen, I guess they did. Let me tell you something. This doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make any sense.
Dave Meltzer needs to go to Dave Heltzer.
All right, I'm going to move on to the next one. So the Hodge Award, non-heavyweight MVP. So, you know, in representing Danny Hodge. So number one with 215 votes, El Hijo del Vikingo. With 164 votes, Darby Allin, and 124 votes, El Desperado. Fellas. Okay, looks like no one gives a fuck. Okay, we'll go on to the next one. All right, women's wrestling MVP. 455, Sayuri.
I don't know none of these motherfuckers on this list.
201, Bianca Belair, and 146, Jamie Hayter.
Bianca is number one. I don't give a fuck about what nobody else is on this list. She's number one.
And you know what? Let me say this too. You know what's fucked up about this list? The person that Brandon thought can't stand is not even on this list. Liv Morgan had a hell of a 2022. And you don't give her any credit for any of the work she put in?
They be hating these WWE
First of all,
girls.
what is the known match of Surayura, whatever?
Well, she's in Stardom.
What match? What was the match? What was the match? No, none of us know. So first of all, this list is retarded.
Yeah, I'm going to jump down next to Feud of the Year. FTR versus Mark and Jay Briscoe at 362 votes. CM Punk versus MJF at 347 votes. And Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins with 34 votes. Jesus. Oh, my God. You tell me that their rivalry, their feud was only worth 34 votes? Come on now. First of all, I ain't gonna hold you. I really don't remember the FTR versus Mark and Jay Briscoe feud like that.
That was when they had the dog collar match, I believe. But
They had the different series of matches. One was on Ring of Honor, the main event. The other one was on regular Dynamite, and the other one was on, like another Ring of Honor TV event. So it was like a back and forth. It was a rivalry. Clearly, they put the vote in for this on the bottom of Dave Meltzer website and or AEW website because that's the only way that these things are getting this amount of votes. And those people in Florida vote. And God bless you. And God bless this list because this makes no sense on Feud of the Year. I think these are good categories. Don't get me wrong. I just think that the numbers are a little. I feel like number 3 should be number 1. Number 1 should be number 5.
No, I agree.
So that's my opinion on that.
Out of that on the FTR and the Briscoes thing, I only seen like promos. I never really got to see a match. Honestly, I never get to see none of those matches.
All right.
It was like, remember how WWE was? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was saying, you remember how like WWE was bursting into the whole Attitude Era, but New Jack was doing shit over at ECW. It was like that kind of thing, like for something extreme and blood. And if that's your thing, if you want to see for the nostalgia, go over there and watch that match. That's how that rivalry was. I'm sorry, go ahead, Matt.
All right, so most improved. Okay, so this starts with 164 votes. The Acclaimed, 159. Mina Shirakawa, and with 97 votes, Jamie Hayter. Fellas,
I don't know.
Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter definitely most improved. I think she could have been number 2 on this list. Once again, I don't know who the other people was, how they rounded this off, but she is definitely most improved. She has improved over the pandemic. She improved over the years. She was kind of somebody in the back. She was a little bit of how, like what Sour Diesel explained of Omar. She was a little doofy to me in the ring, but now she has cleaned up her act a little bit more. She is most improved. The Acclaim, I always thought they were good. They just needed to be booked better. So I don't know if they improved this on the booking part or them in the ring or just on the mic. I don't know what the vote was, but however, I do feel like there were people in the E who was most improved, i.e. Chad Gable, who could have been on this list and definitely won this award, and nobody had a gripe.
Absolutely. Big Daddy Cool.
To be honest, I don't follow none of these people. I never really seen a Jamie Hayter match. I heard her talk. I like that she sounds like she's from London or whatever. I don't like the Acclaim. My unpopular opinion. I'm sorry. I do not like them. And I don't know who that Mina Sukahara Shanana is. Don't know her.
Okay, so I'm going to jump around, right? Because we're getting ready, a little pressed for time. So I'm going to jump around to most overrated wrestler. All right, with 159 votes, I can't agree more. Ronda Rousey. With 145 votes, Tyrus, and with 112 votes, Roman Reigns.
Wait, are they talking about Brodus Clay?
Yes. He's with NWA now.
He's overrated. They got him. They rate him.
Well, he's changed his character a lot. First of all, Brodus Clay, or Tyrus rather, truly very interesting. The man is 1,000% a Republican, so he's a heel. And and he's a Fox News contributor. Like he is like that guy. You could catch him like talking on Fox News all the time. He's a natural born heel.
This is why Naomi has had bad issues in wrestling when she had to dance all around him and somebody had to call his mama and he dancing to that. Fuck that nigga.
Exactly.
Sorry.
So I agree with the Ronda Rousey. I can't,
Me
but
too.
the Roman Reigns, whoever put that man's name on this list is a grade A jackass, because you don't sit there and put the man that is the face of professional wrestling. Okay. Right now, Roman Reigns, as much as it took me a while to really get into the whole bloodline thing, Roman Reigns is, like he would say, is in God mode. He is the face of professional wrestling. Roman Reigns has a run now that's very equivalent to a Stone Cold Steve Austin, to a Hulk Hogan, to The Rock, to Triple H, and so on and so forth, because the man is the face of the company. Now, he's becoming synonymous to professional wrestling. The only person I've seen that maybe that has the rub that he has gotten has been John Cena. So you cannot call him overrated when the man, like you guys said earlier, is bringing eyes to the product and putting butts in the seats. So how could you put this man on an overrated list? That doesn't make sense. Random thoughts.
You know who should have been on this list, that's been on this list a whole million times, but for this is
Exactly.
Moxley, because he is definitely fucking overrated. Fuck Tyrus, Ronda Rousey. I agree with it, but I only think she's on here is because this is whoever's doing this digging at WWE.
You know what I got to say? You treat me like a dog, and it's my fucking voice cracked. You treat me like a dog and expect me to smile. You remind me of a jackass. Okay? That's what they doing. That's this. Whoever wrote this reminds me of a jackass. What?
All right.
Jackass?
What?
Jackass.
What?
Jackass.
What?
I said jackass.
Most underrated now. Coming in with 114 votes, Kanosuke Takeshita.
Take a shit up.
98 votes. Chad Gable, 65. Your boy, Sour Diesel, Ricochet.
That's right.
You know what? With the exception of Kanosuke, the other two was correct. Very underrated.
Yes, very. Like, how we gonna put take a shitter in it? And we just now seen him wrestle. Like, we can't say to ourselves like he's underrated. He deserves a title. What work have he put in? What work has he put in? A person like Chad Gable puts in a lot of work. Underrated. Where's his goddamn titles?
Absolutely.
Ricochet
Random thought.
puts in work.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where's his damn titles?
Random thought.
What they look at as underrated, I think what we rate with underrated is they're not giving their just due. They're not booked right. They don't get their credit right. And I already talk highly about Chad Gable, so it's not much to say. I definitely agree with Ricochet. Kenosha, he does very good in the ring, but I think that part of the botchy that we see with him trying to transition over from New Japan and some of the little bit that he's been able to do in Ring of Honor, he hasn't improved enough. He would have to go on most improved, maybe not underrated.
All right.
I would put Baron Corbin on this list.
Absolutely. I would say that too. That was a good one, Dave. All right, so let's go. Let's skip. We're gonna skip a few. Let's go down all the way to worst major wrestling show. All right, with 311 votes. What are you laughing at?
The fact that Royal Rumble's number one. Sorry.
Royal Rumble in St. Louis with 311 votes. With 129 votes, WWE Elimination Chamber in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And with 112 votes, GCW The World in New York. So, because we came out with such a great Royal Rumble this year, I don't even remember the 2022 Royal Rumble.
That's the one with Brock.
Who?
Is that the one with Brock won when he came out and he came out and
he didn't he get pushed over the top rope?
No, that's this one. That's in 23. I think he won. And hold on, let's just see who won Royal Rumble 22. Hold on.
Random thought. Your thoughts? Well, looking it up.
First of all, I think that there's a whole bunch of maybe either dynamites or this is major wrestling shows. So that would include Blood and Guts, right? Or their little specialties
Yeah,
that they had on TNT and stuff, right? So I
yeah.
think that what was that one that we discussed before, and we were watching it, and they were fighting in a stadium, one of the stadium matches. I think it was Jericho's team versus I can't remember it. Fucking uppers. Dang.
This was
Anywho, I think that those kind of matches and those kind of book pay-per-views could have made this list. And I don't think any Royal Rumble, because no matter who wins the Royal Rumble pay-per-view is like a lot of people's favorites overall. So I disagree, of course, with this list again. I'm trying to find a combo on this thing that I actually agree with the list and the numbers. Go ahead.
This Royal Rumble was when Brock lost his title to Bobby Lashley, and when he lost the title, he came in Royal Rumble that night to win the Royal Rumble. That's when he bum rushed his way into the shit.
Okay,
That
yes.
when Roman speared Brock Lesnar.
This was the Shane McMahon Royal Rumble.
Yeah, this was the Shane McMahon Royal Rumble. This is when Shane McMahon came out at number 30.
This is the Royal Rumble that got Shane fired. Like, yes, I remember. Okay, all right. Nonetheless, But
it has a lot of memorable moments. So how is it on the worst?
Yeah, I don't listen. Please, with this whole list, all right, please. All right. Let's get to most disgusting promotional tactic. All right. So, with 704 votes, Vince McMahon appearing on television for a pop crowd after a sexual misconduct allegation. With 110 votes, the WWE continues a relationship with Saudi Arabia, and with 80 votes, Ric Flair's last match.
Those are bias shits.
First of all, the
biasity in this shit is crazy.
Let's talk about the Vince McMahon for a second, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously we're still in the era of Me Too, so I'm not going to say anything in regards to his allegations or anything like that because I don't want us to get canceled before we even get started. So, having said that, the man came out because he wanted to let you know that obviously because of everything that's going on, the company's still intact, right? And even though he may not be in the lead of running the organization is a well-oiled machine that it will keep going. And that's why he said WWE now, then, and forever together. That's why he came out and did that. Now, was it in bad taste? Maybe. You could say that. Maybe. But the fact remains is he wanted to let you know as the fans, the people, the company as a whole, right? Because this is not just for the fans. This is for the people in the back. And I ain't just talking about the wrestlers. I'm talking about everyone that works for the WWE, that we're going to be all right. We going to be all right. That's why he came out and made this speech. Okay? Now, with the deal with Saudi Arabia, we got to remove politics. Okay? We got to fucking remove politics. We just have to. Understand something. This is wrestling. This is the one business where we don't want to discuss politics in business. Do we know what's going on in Saudi Arabia? Abso-fucking-lutely. Okay? Abso-fucking-lutely. But there was more disgraceful and disgusting things that happened in 2022 than us worried about the relationship in Saudi Arabia. Number 3, Ric Flair's match should have been number fucking 1. Okay, that should have been 1 because the old man had no bit. Let me tell you something. You know what? Ric Flair, my grandfather, my dad, your grandfathers all have in common. They have no business in the wrestling ring. Okay, they all together have no. That's the punchline, ladies and gentlemen. They all have no business in a professional wrestling ring. Okay, at all. And Ric Flair, I know that you're desperate for stardom still, and I get it. I love you to death, even though once you hear this, you're gonna probably call me a fucking lowlife. But the fact is that you have no business in a wrestling ring. Random thought.
I'm gonna agree with you. Ric Flair last match should have been at WrestleMania and it should have been number 1. The Vince McMahon appearing on television. One thing that we always get through different. It's been historic things that has happened, like 9/11, and we've seen Vince McMahon. When we returned back to having an audience at WrestleMania, Vince McMahon came out and flagship the company. So to me, that wasn't a disgusting promotional tactic. You know what I do think is a promotional disgusting tactic? Using too much fucking blood.
Yes.
That's a disgusting promotional tactic. Another one is trying to bring in people that is your version of these people and following another booker's creative and then being called Booker of the Year. I think that is disgusting promotional tactics, if you ask me.
First and foremost, what are we even saying here? This is Vince McMahon. He is funded on damn, what's the damn thing? Controversy. That's who he is. It wasn't a disgusting tactic. All he did was coming to show you, like how you said in the beginning, then, now, and forever together. That's Vince McMahon. And if we're going to say that's the most disgusting, then I guess him saying my nigga wasn't a disgusting tactic, because we seen Vince do way worse things than that. You know what I mean? And there's no disrespect to the Me Too movement and what's going. I said movement, movement, and what had happened. My heart is felt for those women and that went through it. But Vince did way worse shit. Way worse shit.
Did. He absolutely did. All right, so we're gonna round this out with the last one is Promoter of the Year. Now, there's many more on the list with different categories and things like that. But obviously, we're pressed for time, so we want to just jump down to the one that burnt Sour Diesel the most is the Promoter of the Year. At 415 votes, Tony Khan. 287, Dana White. 198, Rosie Agawa, who's in charge of Stardom. And, the list. Random thoughts.
I don't know if I'm looking at promoter or Booker. Oh,
yeah, Promoter.
I thought this was. I had more to say because I thought Paul Levesque was on it, and I was gonna go hard for Papa H.
But you know what? You could go ahead and say that. Why isn't Paul Levesque?
Why the hell isn't? That's where I'm going.
Not the Promoter of the Year. Yeah,
he's in there. He's number 3 for best booker for the best booker. He's number 3 Promoter of the Year.
Which means they're not putting respect on his name as a promoter, which is what went back to our conversation last week when you had the exchange of words on social media from the guys at the other podcast, is that they're not putting their respect on Triple H as a promoter's name, because we know that WWE is a conglomerate in the public business, so on and so forth. But he is still behind the creation and anything that he has done. He had to jump on board and kick off SummerSlam, right? We had an also SummerSlam that is where, Bailey returned and brought up Io Sky, and we've seen him collect all the people who kind of got fired, brought them back to the company, gave them all something to do. If that's not a promoter, then like what is? Like Triple H, how I feel about Papa H is how I feel about Papa H. He does no wrong. He's done wrong in the past, and I will acknowledge it when we have those conversations. But when it comes to the history, the knowledge, and where he has put this company since, the whole Vince McMahon thing, and that was the last topic, Triple H is the GOAT, and he should have been number 1 on the top of this list. But these people ain't gonna vote for that because they're going for Tony Khan, who just gave y'all a decent set.
Yeah, absolutely right on that.
And nonetheless,
cool, Sour Diesel.
Nonetheless, this is when Triple H came back from his damn near death experience, right? And really, was this the WrestleMania where he left his boots in the ring, right? Was it not?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like what? Triple H is he's one of the best guys, and he learned from the best guy in Vince McMahon. Tony Khan. Tony, I'm talking to you, Tony. What have you done for me lately? Nothing. You are nothing. You're a piece of shit. I hate you.
And on that note, just to piggyback off of what these two extraordinary gentlemen just said, they're absolutely right. There's no reason why Triple H, Paul Levesque, Trips is not, the top guy on this list. Because if you want to talk about underrated, if you think of what he had to pick up the company from and then to turn it around in a less than a 6-month period is an amazing feat within itself. Anybody that's been in the business world understands that when you have to pick up an organization from a person that that was having it either mundane or run down, it is a lot of work. And now, guess what? You have to pick up the organization, take the current talent and make them useful again. You want to bring back the other talent that you promised to come back to make them useful again. Plus, you have NXT that you have to build up. So you have all these things working at once. And the fact that you will put a goddamn awful Dana White on the list and not put Paul Levesque on the list, this is a disgrace to professional wrestling, and it's a slap in the face. You damn right, Brandon thought. And then Tony Khan, all he's doing is copying the WWE playbook. That's it. You're putting him as number one, and he's copying the playbook. Listen, if that's the case, right? A high school football coach that left his playbook at a meeting, and the rival school found it. If they're running the games, are they the top team? No. The fact remains is you cannot sit there and say that Tony Khan is number one and not respect Paul Hunter Hearst Hemsley Levesque. It doesn't make sense. Other than that, fellas, that is it for the topic of the day. This was a much heated topic, but you know what? We got through it, and and Brandon thought, throwing it back to you.
Yes, that is the 3 count, ladies and gentlemen. So those of y'all tuning in, always get ready for the 3 count. That is our topic. If you have any ideas, feel free always to reach out to us. Tell them what the Gmail is. Smash out.
The Three Amigos podcast 1 at gmail.com.
That's the DA. Don't spell it the TH. It's a lot of them out there, but we the real ones. Right now, we're gonna go straight into our wrestler of the week. Now, gentlemen, we talk about a lot of wrestling. We've seen a lot of wrestling. There's hours and hours of wrestling. I'm gonna toss it over to you, Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel. Who do you think is your wrestler of the week?
Cody Rhodes.
I know that's right.
Cody Rhodes. He put on an excellent show. He put on an excellent match with Chad Gable at the beginning of the week on SmackDown. On Raw. Then he closed it off this week in Friday Night SmackDown with a beautiful promo of War of Words with Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes is my pick of the week.
Match out. Wrestler of the week.
I'm gonna definitely go with Chad Gable. I was thinking about it earlier, and I'm gonna go with Chad Gable because this guy has really shown out. Because Cap wasn't on the show last Friday, I couldn't really pick him. So I'm gonna go with Chad on that one.
Mine is always melanated, and although he had to go through the adversity of being in the middle of Botchamania, he did literally grab the brass ring. Mine is going to be Powerhouse Hobbs. Congratulations on at least elevating and moving up and at least going for a championship title. With that being said, we talked about a lot of wrestling, fellas. We did our thing as amigos. Any final words? Mash out, King.
Listen, I just want to say thank you to everybody that listened to the show today. Obviously, I love doing the show with these two gentlemen right here. And, next week's going to be bigger and better. And that's it. Just wish you all best of luck for the next following week. And make sure you complete all the goals you set out to do. That's it for me.
That's good. Good. Be goal-oriented. Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel.
Be productive this week. You know what I say. rest on Sunday, you get up on Monday. As long as you can see up, you can get up. That's what my dad always tells me. Put your best foot forward. And if you have to take 2 back, just know that the one you take ahead will be bigger than the steps you took back.
Exactly.
All right. And of course, I'll leave you guys with a random thought. And it might, contrary to popular belief, if someone calls you a star, ignore it. Yes, they shine bright in the sky and they do set a mood. But guess what? They also fall. If they are going to call you a star, at least try to be the sun. That way you are creating heat and sustenance. I'm Brandon Thoughts, and I just have Random Thoughts, Brandon Lee.
All right. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Salute.
Later.
So